Hello and welcome to Snowskate Overlords, the most authoritative podcast in snowskating. I'm Eric Frick here with Zach Boy, Al Warden, and Andrew Nelson. And I have a correction from the last episode. I incorrectly stated that myself and Jess Nemi were, I think, the only people riding MTEs in the snowskate world, and that's not true. Danny B is riding the Del Pato MTEs, the boot style ones. Josh Oakes just got the same ones, and he's been riding the low cut skate style Vans with the MTE waffle sole. So I apologize. I was incorrect. I found out shortly after we recorded the last episode that other people were skating them. I still don't know how I feel about them. Zach, I took your advice and I was skating the skate high non-MTEs last night. I still can't do a kickflip, but with the less aggressive grip, it was a little bit easier to actually do some flip tricks.
Yeah, I think you also already made another mistake because Jess Nemi does not skate the MTEs.
What? You told me that he skates the MTEs.
No, in the last podcast, he skates just the skate high too. You said this last time, I think, too. I could be wrong, but that's right.
You're right. Yeah, I thought
he probably used to. I think he used to.
Yeah, because I thought I remember like seeing him in Marquette, and he had the MTEs, which is why I'm thinking of that. But no, you're right. You corrected me last episode. God, I cannot keep people's MTEs in the snowskate world straight.
Yeah. So we're at a total of, 3 riders with the MTEs, it sounds like.
Yeah, so it's still not that many. And yeah, I don't want to – yeah, that we know of. And I don't want to – again, I don't want to be super negative to the MTEs. Like, they're still a pretty good shoe. They have really aggressive grip. It just depends on what your needs are and ultimately what you're trying to do on a snow skate and flipping your board and whatnot. So all a matter of personal preference.
True.
But today we have listener questions, and then we are going to go through the not so fire rapid questions on our own. So let's kick off with some listener questions.
Not so fire rapid questions is even funnier than not so rapid fire questions. Like the questions all suck. They're just not so fire. All right. First question. Yeah. First question from my boy Turkey Dogs. What are your thoughts on the recent boom in snow skate popularity, and do all of these participants dilute to the culture or add to it? I don't think anything is taken away by more people getting into snow skating. I think that's what snow skating needs. I really don't think that there's people doing the cool guy thing like they, used to do in skateboarding or whatever. And, oh, that dude's a beginner, or that dude doesn't know what's up. Like, I don't really feel like there's a culture of that in snow skating. And maybe it's just because we're inherently so small and there's not really room to hate on other snow skaters. Zach, Andrew, I don't know if you guys feel differently. No, 100%.
Yeah, I love seeing new people, new styles. Yeah, you can definitely tell like who's more on the skateboard side of things, who's coming in from more of a, just by spot selection too. And I just the amount of different spots I'm seeing just any day on like Instagram is awesome. I don't know if there's anything to dilute, would maybe be the argument I would make. It's such a heady argument to make that it's like that's what snow skating is like it's going to expand and it's going to have these kinds of moments. And if this is like a cool new renaissance, and like, yeah, then that's awesome.
Yeah. And I find it interesting when, go ahead, Zach.
Go ahead. Okay. I was going to say, I personally think it's kind of long overdue. I mean, every year I expect like, oh, it's going to happen, like way more snow skaters. But this has been the first year that you see a lot of notable names or bigger Instagrammers or whatever actually taking it on. But the big question is, will they remain doing it? There's a lot of things that we know will deter people from snow skating. You go out and it's inconsistent, for example, and you're like, yo, fuck that thing. Or it's just kind of easy to get over it, I feel like.
Totally.
So we'll see how long it lasts. I just really hope it does. And no, I believe there's nothing to dilute either. The more, the better. And I hope it gets even bigger. That's like my stance anyways.
Yeah. And one of the fun things about seeing people like just start snow skating on Instagram is like, it's interesting to see how people start riding a snow skate, whether or not they're just like riding down a hill, if they immediately go to a skate park, if they try to like start doing skateboard stuff on flat ground, like seeing people's individual approaches to snow skating when they don't really have a frame of reference for like what other people are doing in snow skating. Like I always find that kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, 100%. That is absolutely 100%. yeah, like seeing skate parks, like again, I've said like I don't 100% like seeing people see people skate parks, but what that adds is it appeals to people that skateboard and says you could go down to the local park that you already skate and you could get some of your tricks in the winter and have a new experience. Then that's what that's adding to snow skating. That's what we have to look at and saying like this new variety of footage. It's not really taking away, even though like I personally would rather see someone like, you know, out in the woods hitting like a log jib or something, you know. But if someone else sees someone just on like a little box, like messing around, then like, yeah, if that pushes someone else to go outside in the winter and get a snow skate and to, you know, start figuring it out, you know, that's all good. That's just only going to add, it's only going to be a positive thing. If it sticks around though, is the other question, because as we've talked about, it's been, you know, kind of a high benchmark year for not only snow skating, but any winter sport in general. But if that sticks around, or if like this time next year, you're going to go to like the Play It Again and it's just packed snow skates.
Yeah, nothing to really dilute to the culture. And our opinion, you know, if you want to start snow skating, there's a place for you in snow skating, and go in snow skating. Scuba Chet, is there a thing as too much X grip? Can you overdo it? Yes, you can. Yep. Your board will get too heavy. The grip will actually be reduced. Like cutting up a sheet of X grip and spacing it out, having the alternating foam and then the X grip, that actually allows snow to like kind of go away and it'll give you some more grip. I think Blay back in the day, like basically gripped a snow skate with X grip like a skateboard. And he said it was just horrible.
Yep.
Just horrible. So
he's the only one I know that's ever tried it, because I think when they first started using X grip, I think he tried that right away, because as a skateboarder, that's where your mind goes, is like, oh, you should just cover it. But yeah, I have not tried gripping an entire board with it, but I think just having it, I don't even think you know, really need to. I mean, it's pretty explanatory. Once you try it in just some key areas, it makes all the difference. You know?
Yep. Yeah, and some people don't even use a full pack of extreme grip. Like some people prefer having less on their boards and making it lighter and having that grip spaced out even more.
Yeah, that might be my camp. I might be like, I might be the proprietor of that now, because like I keep thinking about. Maybe we can get into this later, because I know Zach just reset his grip too. But like I am having a season where I have a lot less grip than I normally do, and it's kind of helping my technique, which is interesting. So I don't know.
But what grip are you using, Andrew? Are you using the Tundra? Because I find that I need a lot less of that too. So
yeah, Tundra. Yep, that's what it is.
That stuff is aggressive.
And then I just have it on the like Jensen pointed out, like that's the only one he was like in the Instagram post, he's like, that's the only one I wouldn't skate. And it's like, well, I kind of like after all these years figured out that where my feet go when I do stuff. So like I kind of know the kind of the spots to target. So it kind of works for me, but I definitely get that it would not work for everyone else. So
yep.
Right.
Anyway,
it's all personal preference.
It always is. I want to say something real quick. So I gripped my Dave Endure board this year with almost a full pack, cut up, whatever. And I started skating it. I thought I'd get used to it, but I pretty much gripped it with Tundra how I would with the typical old extreme grip style. The other day I tried a trick for 2 hours and it was a board side kickflip. That's all I'll say. And I was like, I can't tell if my board is just catching the grip. And I'm like, dude, fuck this. I'm done today. Went home, re-gripped my board, went back the next day, did it in 10 tries. And I really attribute it all to just having too much grip. And with the Tundra, I feel like you kind of have to tread lightly depending on your tricks. It's pretty great if I'm hitting a handrail, but now like I'm learning that with any flip trick, I'm over it. Getting stuck on my foot and just flinging, or just like always a bunch of half flips for me. A lot of half flips.
Yeah, I think the play would be to have two setups and have like a sheet with like a full, or a board with like a full sheet of Tundra for when you just want to do, you know, ollies and make sure that you have grip, or skate rails or even shove its and whatnot. But for any, I don't even know, you could probably still do heel flips fine, but really any kickflip variation, you may want less grip, or you may want to go to the standard extreme instead of Tundra, or just use less of it.
Yeah. I find I need like 4 boards nowadays. I seriously, every day I'm like, I guess I need another one. I need like a small grip or a small board with like little to no grip, a big board with a bunch of grip, a big board with only some grip, an old board so I can use it on ledges. I'm traveling with 3 snow skates right now. I need 4. So Blay, I'll be
I
reaching
back
out.
it. No, I back it. I always, I have at least
insane.
3 boards with me in my trunk at any given time. I mean, that's the play.
Right. Mm-hmm. For every spot, I'm like, what am I going to use?
Yeah. We'll go into that more in the setup, but yes, you can overdo X grip scuba jet. Definitely. Jensen, any ideas on how the design of a snow skate could be improved? I wish I had the answer to that question. I would love to get into that technically, but I don't know personally.
Yeah.
I think I know. Go ahead, Andrew, but I think I know.
I was going to say back in the Premiere Forum days, there was a lot of like, that I really think was the Wild West of like when people, I mean, I remember people posting like screenshots from CAD of like, you know, things. I remember one thing that they did, one of the ideas was having the concave, like having the top surface of the board, having the wood concave just be part of the board. So like it would be kind of either routed or sanded out. There was other concepts I saw where that concave transferred to the bottom of the board. So your board would kind of have like a side-to-side rocker, and then the tracking on the edges, supposedly when you turn, would help you kind of turn and have more control, kind of opening it up to kind of like a skateboard truck feel. But I think someone on the forum said they tried it. I'm like recalling things from like 15 years ago. But someone like routed it and just tested it, and it just doesn't work. You need flat tracking on the ground. That's just kind of how snow works. You can't really translate the skateboarding motion into it. I'm trying to think other design corrections. I know tail shape has been changing from year to year too, which has been something. Do you have something, Zach?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't understand why we just don't make them hard plastic and take the nose and tail and just put them straight up. I'm just kidding. That's a joke for anyone listening who doesn't know how bad the old Premiere plastics were.
Yeah. The 90-degree tails that you just had to balance the ball of your foot on that tail and hope you didn't slip off in any direction.
Yeah.
Watching anyone do a trick on that is beyond me. I've seen it. Yeah. You know, I wonder, though, with what Andrew said, though, the whole conversation between making the concave part of the wood mold or, you know, instead of the grip is really interesting. I want to say I'm guessing maybe he doesn't do it because it would be, like, more costly maybe to do it. Or maybe it would be.
I would imagine,
more, I wonder if it would have to do with the weight then, too. It
would add weight, yeah. Unless you were carving out from the middle, but.
Yeah.
Right, and then it'd be super thin. So maybe that's why. But I would be curious to see how that performs, honestly.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
I remember. I think I'm trying to think back to the forum, but I'm pretty sure someone had made a wood and then maybe just used like some sort of like polyurethane on the bottom, but they like cut and routed it. Man, I can't remember. I'm having a tough time calling this back, but someone tried it. I always thought that was because like in my mind I was like, oh, that's it, that's the game changer. And then I think basically the conclusion was that it was like not like skateboarding. There was like some sort of thing, but that's really the only thing I can think of when it comes to maybe any improvement. But because you just don't have the biggest thing I see when people that skateboard move to a snow skate, it's like you just kind of lose it takes a while to get used to the tracking, and like you can't throw hard turns. You kind of can. It's kind of a linear movement that you can do on a snow skate. Mm-hmm. So adding that concave and that turning ability, but it just kind of, I don't know. It's I don't know. Maybe it's something they'll prototype and maybe it'll be a game changer. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to see it, and I encourage anybody interested in this sort of stuff to go listen to Paul Schmidt's 9 Club. It was probably the best 9 Club I've ever listened to. And he approaches skateboarding like most people look at golf, like in terms of like fitting properly. Like I don't remember the skater that he was referencing, but like some skater like went to him and had like a problem with like certain flip tricks or something, and he adjusted the concave, he adjusted, you know, the tail and the shape or whatever he needed to do, and basically fit them into a skateboard for them. So if you could do that for a snow skate based off of your own tendencies, Zach, you'd have like 12 boards, but it'd be amazing. Like that'd be so cool. I would love to learn more about the technical side of snow skating and actual board construction. I know nothing right now, but very interesting.
I'm sure if we got Blay on here, he could fill us in and enlighten us on some stuff.
Yeah, differences between the ambition shapes and stuff.
Yeah, and cool. Also it only took like 20 minutes today for you to get into the golf subject, so that wasn't. I'm kidding, Eric. I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, my golf references aren't going away. I'm sorry. I'm head over heels in the golf world.
It's okay. I'm kidding. I don't want to stray too far, but I got one question for you guys. I know I've been fucking around a lot, but what do you guys personally think of concave? Do you guys think it makes that much of a difference?
Yes.
I tried the double concave this year. I personally didn't like it. Today, Dan was snow skating a big board with double concave, and I said, "Oh, is that like your setup now?" He's like, "Honestly, if one concave or stacked concave, two, doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I can't even notice it." So, just curious what you guys think.
Yeah, I think I get better board feel for sure. Just because I'm tall, I have big feet, so like total brag. But you know, it's just I need the concave to keep my feet from dragging in the snow. Like it's as simple as that.
That's helps. A good part.
I mean, everything else, it just helps with flip tricks and other stuff. Just kind of an added bonus. But yeah, that's kind of a big thing, I think, for me. So I think it helps. I'm actually was going to set up a double concave board this year, I think, on my big board. Because I'm like 6'5", and like, if I skate the Moreau right now. I mean, we'll talk about this in setup, but I always think I should be probably on like a 35, like a Gerlach shape board.
Yeah, the hot disc Gerlach size.
Yeah, like a big 9 by 35. Just because proportionally, like that's what, you know, it feels comfortable to me. But I do notice on smaller boards like the Moreau, it's kind of the best of both worlds where I get flip tricks and my feet don't drag as bad as, say, something smaller. So
yeah. I've never actually skated the double concave, so I can't speak to it. I remember standing on it when Josh was in town last year, and I remember not liking it, but I can't really speak to it without skating it. But as far as having some concave, I don't know how I could go back to skating a flat snow skate at this point. Like I honestly don't know if I could. Just that little bit of foam just to give you that bit of control and just comfort standing on the board is so huge.
Yeah. I think it aids more in what Andrew said, not being so close to the ground, not foot dragging. And this is only me personally, I guess. And also aids in, like you said, more like a board feel. But when it comes down to actual flip tricks, it doesn't really help me that much. Like, I mean, I used to do all the same flip tricks I did with the flat boards as I do now. Maybe I'd go back to it and be like, wow, it is different. Maybe I didn't notice because the transition's been now like 5 years removed or whatever. I've only skated concave boards, but sometimes I'll see kids be like, oh, like I can't do this. Do I need the concave? And I'm always thinking like, it's not going to make, to me, I don't think it's going to make that vast of a difference, you know?
No, I don't think it's going to like improve the rate of rotation on your flip tricks or anything like that. But from a comfort and stability standpoint, it's huge. Yeah. It's huge.
I like it for that too. That's my main. Yeah. I couldn't go back to a flat board either for the record, but
yeah. I don't think anybody on the Ambition team skates a flat board nor has skated a flat board in a really long time.
No. But hey, if you're listening and you skate a flat board and you know the benefits of it, shoot me a letter. I would love to hear. I would, if there's any diehard Premiere purists out there that are like all about flat boards, like sure.
And if you prefer the Ambition team model, like leave a comment on YouTube, DM the Instagram or whatever. I'd be really curious because I just don't know of anybody. Maybe it is a thing and people love them, but I have no clue.
Yeah, hard to say.
Definitely. Riley Rowell, favorite type of spots to see in a video? This is a really good question. I think my answer is street stuff, but not just your classic like, you know, handrail, stair, that sort of stuff. Like, I don't know, just unique things that you find in urban areas. Like a lot of the stuff that you skate, like your street style parts, Zach.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks.
Zach, what do you think?
All my parts are literally me searching for spots. I've said this so many times to like my friends. I'm like, I don't go to a place to make a spot look good. I go to a spot for it to make me look good. And that's like how I'm not sick enough to be like someone like Dave or Josh. I can't look at a spot and be like, oh, spot has to cater to me.
But do you have a favorite type of spot that you like to see, Zach? No?
This question was hard for me. I like to see a hybrid of things. I like creativity. I'm huge on like spot searching, but in the end of the day, I'm always a sucker for like a big rail that's like unique. So not just like a standard handrail, but like maybe one with like a bend in it or kinks, or just maybe like a shitty rail. Like you shouldn't be hitting it, but someone is. Some of the stuff that like Dave does, like I'm just such a sucker for. I love watching big rails get chomped. So that's probably my answer.
Andrew?
Yeah, I love seeing stuff skated that you would not be able to skateboard. That's a big thing in the appeal for me. Like I think
I agree with that.
Yeah, like if it's just like a cool hill over a retaining wall, or if it's something like Allen's Sava and they're just some gnarly hub out in the middle of a hill, like that to me. Or like in Dave in Solofita, like the top of like a electrical circuit box or something that you wouldn't be able to get on a skateboard. That to me is what's really interesting, because I mean that obviously would be like forest jibs and stuff like that. Like that's really what I like seeing.
For sure.
I mean I think it's great like having a handrail part or some stairs, because like I mean that looks really good too in parts, but I think I like the creative side more, and seeing what people can add or build, or like or like even just like moving, simple as like dragging a picnic table up a hill. I think that's kind of cool to watch.
For sure. Veggie Wizard, skate versus snow skate, things like foot placement, what tricks are more easy or difficult than skating, etc. There's not a ton beyond the nuances, at least my opinion. Zach, you'd probably be able to answer this better than I could, but the biggest thing is 360 flips on a snow skate. On a skateboard, you want to put it in that.
What I was going to bring up.
Yep. You want to put it in the back pocket, like, classic, 360 flip trick tip that I'm sure you've seen a million times about skateboarding, but on a snow skate, it's totally different. Like you need it on the very tip of the tail. And I find like the more you try to flick your 360 flip vertical, like down, so it goes up, is way better than trying to get that side to side motion. Because you just lose a lot of that energy if you just try to push it to the side. You just kind of just ends up doing a 540 shove hat flip sort of thing.
Yeah, the geometry.
I want to say that Chuck Dion told me this, who I think has like the best flat ground tray flip of all time on a snow skate, like super powerful looking. He told me instead of like, usually on a tray flip, you have so much scoop on a skateboard and just so much scoop. He was like, focus on pushing more down, and a lot more your front foot does the work than you'd think. But instead of scoop, push down. And I've done under 5 in my life on flat ground tray flips, and that helped me when I have done them. They still look like shit, but I agree. That's one big trick that needs some amending, I feel like.
Yep. Dave actually taught me that too. And we were doing them on flat ground together a few years back, and he was doing the same thing. Like instead of just trying to go sideways, he was telling me when you flick it, try to basically do a 360 flip, but like have it flip like almost backwards. And helps a lot. Still can't do 3 flips, but I mean, that day and the principle of it makes sense.
Geometry's a
other
little
than that, and I know we probably have said this before, I was going to say, above all things, the foot placement of the back foot just being on the tip of the tail is the most crucial part of getting pop or doing anything on a snow skate.
Yep. Andrew?
Yeah, I find that maybe it's just because I'm bigger, but if I'm getting set up for something, I bring my front foot a little closer to the center of the board than maybe you could get away with on a skateboard.
Yeah.
But that's just because the way that you pop, it's kind of more like a, whereas in a skateboard you have trucks, so it kind of snaps to here, and then you can whereas a snow skate's much more organic and flowy. So like, just having your center of gravity kind of balanced over the center of the board is a big help. So for me, like bringing my foot in and just kind of keeping low, shoulder back, kind of makes a big difference. It's definitely a different motion than skateboarding altogether. I mean, I definitely see that people that skateboard try snow skating for the first time. It's like definitely some compensation for the geometry there that goes on. So
definitely,
but good question for sure. That's a big thing. I think that turns people away from it. It's like, oh, it's not like a skateboard, so like, guess I can't do my tricks, and then they're done. So, yeah,
yeah, it's very accurate.
Yep. What would Jay do? Best way to keep warm? Let's go into that in the Snowskate setup. I definitely want to go into some outerwear stuff in that segment.
Well, I know an answer he's looking for, so I'm going to go ahead and answer that actually.
Oh, it's Fireball, right?
So that answer is actually Coors. Yeah, it's Fireball and Coors Banquet is how you keep warm.
Oh, right. I forgot it's the combo. Yeah, you got to have both.
Yep. That checks out.
Those are the unofficial drinks of snow skating. So,
yeah, please look up Suck Some 2018 for examples of that working out in the wild.
Or Zach's grip ball part. He's always drinking Fireball on that one too.
Yep.
Oh,
great stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good question.
All right, Luis say cheese. Why is this industry male, white, and hetero dominated? Really good question, and I don't have a great answer to this. My initial thought was, I think a lot of it has to do with the demographics of people that get into snow skating. I mean, you're going to be in the northern United States or Canada, which is predominantly white, and I think that explains a lot of it. I don't think that we are necessarily exclusionary in snow skating. However, I do think that we could do more to be inclusionary and make snow skating not just a bunch of white dudes doing our thing. Zach, Andrew, additional thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're taking a segment of the population like skateboarders that are already predominantly white. I mean, that's partially through privilege. I mean, of like who has disposable income for that kind of stuff too. So that's just narrowing these sections of the pie to white male. And then you take northern Canada, US, and like, as far as inclusion, I think that's a great point, because I think that in early snow skating, it was very much of, like Andy Wood would do these demos. Andy Wolf would do these demos and like have, product to try out and just open it up to anyone who wants to try. And like, that is definitely something that, I mean, besides like Barbagalzi, I can't even think of any other place that has like a event where you can try it in a controlled setting, because it's definitely not something you can go to a ski hill and rent a snow skate and try it. It's just very niche, and it actually requires a bit of a financial investment to even get the equipment you need to do it. Extreme grip, snow skate, some sort of shoes that you could wear. I mean, in the terms of that, I think there's some inclusion stuff that we could be doing. But I think also that now more than ever, it's becoming less dominated. I'm seeing more and more girls and people of color trying it on Instagram and stuff. So that's super cool. So
true. Zach, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, all I have to say is we welcome it, we encourage it, and I want to see more of it. And I was just about to say I'm not going to speak on behalf of the whole snowskate community, but yes, I am, because we all want it, I think. And if you don't, fuck you. So seriously, frankly, I want to see more of it. I mean, this year I've been snow skating with my friend. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just say I'm speaking for everyone, because that's how it should be. Anyways, but yeah, I've been snow skating with my friend Cece this year. And she is female, and she fucking rips, and we've been filming her, and I hope that everyone gets to see what she's been working on, because she's awesome.
Yeah, she's been killing it. So sick.
And I hope she encourages more females to get into it too. So,
do you want to plug her Instagram?
Also, shout out to a couple others though too.
Yeah,
I'll plug her Instagram. It's cc.hotcakes, I think, or is it hotcake singular?
I think it's hotcake singular.
Yeah, I think you're right.
One hot.
Is it cc.hotcake? Yeah. And shout out to Lisa Fowler and Nessa Darps. There are a couple other females I see right now that are really sick, and I wish I could only see like more of them. That's like all I ever want, is to see more female footage.
Phil Moreau actually mentioned that. With the girl Shredders mentioned in the last podcast. Did you forget to mention Vanessa Darp? Yeah, I did. My apologies. Shout out to her.
Yeah, we probably did. Yeah. I'm hyped on her.
Speaking of Phil Moreau, he sent in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13 questions. I'm not going to answer them all like last time. I'm sorry, Phil. I'm going to pick and choose some of the best ones. During a Kalamazoo trip, who is the snow skater that drank 2 tall Four Loko cans right before a session, puked? Zach?
That would probably be our boy Jamie Cybulski.
That would
Shouts
be
out
Jamie
to him wherever he
Cybulski.
is. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Big shout out to Kushlord. I think it was 3 Four Lokos. I recall.
Yeah, I think 3. It was 2. But I also do you want to tell that story? Didn't it have something to do with him going out snow skating without socks on or something?
Yes. Okay. So I need to leave out a detail or two of the story, but from what I remember, I went out skating with, it was Jensen and Roby Gobel, and that was the night we went to that giant 5 block in Kazoo. Never going to go back to that thing. Thing's horrible. Yep. But we went out late. Like we probably left at like 9 or 10. That thing is so not fun to skate. And we got back late at like 1 or 2 or something. And Jamie hadn't started drinking, I don't think, before we had left. And I got back and Jamie, like I walk into the apartment and Jamie's like laughing and gives me a hug. And I'm like, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? And it took me a few seconds to realize that he was just so drunk and he could like barely even speak. And after that, he kind of is just like all over the place and was like, oh, that's what's going on here. So he was just hammered off these Four Lokos. And so he woke up the next day at like 6 a.m., probably hungover. He goes and skates this like little pole jam and somebody is like literally in somebody's backyard, like around the block or something. Gets this
someone's yard.
Yeah, somebody's yard. He like gets this trick, wants to go, and he's not wearing socks. Like just hung over his shit, not wearing socks, skating somebody's backyard at like 6 or 7 in the morning, gets his pole jam trick, has to wait for everybody else to get up for somebody to come film it, gets Jensen to go out and film with him, puts socks on, and at that point he can't get the trick. And he was so bummed after that. I think he was blaming it on the socks too. He was saying that he shouldn't have been wearing socks when he went out for the second session.
That's where the socks come in. Was he also, man. Maybe I'm making this up, but yeah, I think he blamed on the socks. But was he also like, because I'm not drunk anymore or something too? Was that maybe another
something along those lines? Yeah, maybe he wasn't drunk at 6 a.m. or whatever. God, shout out to Jamie. We had a great time that trip.
So funny, yeah. Just great, a stranger's yard. Yeah.
So good. What's the secret to?
I love that story.
Yeah, that's just the one. I actually wanted to ask you this question too. What's the secret to backside 360?
Yeah, I don't have the answer to that. Somebody tell me that because I want to know it so bad. I want to do a big back 3 on a snow skate and like do it proper. I don't know. Somebody tell me, please.
Idea. Has that been done?
Knows.
Someone's done it, right, Zach?
Yeah. Dan Burgeon just did the best one I've ever seen. He did it on a 5-stair about a month ago, and that's like the first, most legit one I've ever seen. I mean, they've been done since Rico Desjardins did like the first one in white contrast back in like, what was that, 07, 06-ish. But it was, no offense to him, it was pretty sketchy. It was a big moment. People were super hyped on it. And since then, we've seen a handful of them, but they're always pretty trash. And I feel like even the ones I've done have never really been that great.
Well, yours and Neil's
my secret, I could say, for the ones Neil had a pretty solid one in 2008 that no one really knows. It flew under the radar in a YouTube video. That was the best one until I feel like Dan did his. People probably don't know this either, but this kid named Darius did a back 360 kickflip off a picnic table. It wasn't beautiful, I'll say that, but it's been done.
Wow. I don't remember
the secret for me, and Dan too would probably agree, is wind up to the point where it's uncomfortable. You want to keep your hips straight moving forward, but you want to twist your upper body so far in advance, and you'll see it in the clips. A lot of people are commenting like, wow, it looks like he's about to wind up for a front 3 and then does a back 3, and it's kind of the only way you can, otherwise you'll slide out. So that's like the best advice I can give, and otherwise hopefully you just get lucky. I don't know.
Yeah.
That trick,
I tried those for
try it. Conditions matter, boards matter.
Yeah, that little like kicker edit I made a month ago where I did that horrible back 3 where it's like a little 270 pivot. I worked for like at least 3 hours just to get that one. I was texting you, Zach, while I was trying that. I literally had neck spasms for like 3 nights after that, like trying to go to sleep, just like winding up and twisting in my neck, like just twitching when I went to sleep. Just old man snow skater problems, but they're so hard. Like they are such a difficult trick.
I think that you shouldn't be trying them off the kicker, though. I used to try them off kickers, and that was actually the hardest thing to do them off of.
Oh, really? Just like a gap or like a stair set is easier?
Yeah, I feel like when you have a kicker, it's harder to wind. Well, depends what the surface is. If you have a wooden kicker, you slip out kind of when you start to wind up. If you have maybe a very thin carpeted wood or something, kind of like a putting green, that's what we do with our kickers. Is we staple a little bit of carpet to them so you can do that kind of stuff. Then you might have a better shot at maybe getting around. But otherwise, I don't know. I've never been able to even get close with the kicker. I have a hard time.
Well, what I was doing to facilitate that is when I was setting up the kicker, what I was like, I would take all of the snow off halfway up the kicker. So it would just be bare wood. Just so I would get up to it and then my back would my tail would stick a little bit when I would pop and try to spin and I wouldn't slide out as bad. It didn't totally work, but I think it helped a little bit. If nothing else mentally.
You should try it off a little drop.
I mean, as soon as Minneapolis isn't an ice skating rink.
Try it off like a standard little drop and see if that helps you out. I think it'd be better.
Yeah, when I can actually snow skate again and not just ride on ice, I definitely will. But all right, we need to take a quick Zoom break here. All right, we're back into listener questions, picking up Phil Moreau's 18th question out of 34 here. Would you rather drink 3 coffees or 3 beers right before a sesh? Depends on the time of the day. Anything afternoon, I'm gonna go beers. Anything before noon, I'm gonna go coffee.
I'd probably go beer.
Did you say, Zach?
Yeah, I'm going beer 100%. If I have 1 coffee, I'm having a fucking panic attack. I do not respond well to caffeine, so beers.
What do you guys think of 3 shoves and snow skating? It's a good question. I think that they're cool if they're done properly. If you're just flinging it to try to clear a gap and just hoping you land on it, just a dice roll, no. But if you pop and catch a 3 shove, yes. I was very much in the anti 3 shove camp up until a couple years ago. And then I started doing them again and I realized how fun they are. And I was like, okay, they're kind of cool.
They are fun.
But yeah, you got to do them properly.
I'd say I'm in the camp where, they're fun just to do on their own, but I think they look better and I think they're more fun on boxes. Like, I think that's one of my favorite tricks to do is a mid board slide shove or 3 shove, just because it's it's just such a cool thing you can only do on a snow skate. And and like you really can't even, if you're on a box, like you can't even really get away with doing more than a 3. So it's like, kind of added incentive, I would say. But yeah, that's I'd say on their own, probably wouldn't go over. I mean, it just the timing of the trick, anything that takes longer than like a second to spin, like just doesn't look that great.
Yeah, anything more than 360 degrees of rotation, probably not. But Zach, what are your thoughts?
Pretty much exactly what you said. Only if it's done right. It needs to be popped. I don't want to see feet in the middle of the board winging it around like a helicopter. Super fun trick to do, like on flat and stuff. But I think of like Charlot's 3 shove. That's a sick one. And I think of like Jake Boss's 3 shove and Sava down like that big ass 4 block. Like that's a sick one.
Yep.
So just depends how you do them.
For sure. All right, North Po, best DIY snow skate design. Great question. Another one I don't have an answer for. Zach, Andrew, you guys got one for this?
I don't even know what you mean. Like making your own snow skate?
I think so. Yeah.
What does it mean? Like
I don't have anything.
Grip art? I don't know, because I'd highly advise against making your own snow skate.
Yeah,
sure, I would too. Yeah, unless you're like you actually know what you're doing. Yeah, it's not worth trying.
Probably Matt Plays, Icon Snow Skates, best DIY snow skate maker.
Most proper badass DIY.
I mean, I've seen some as bad. I've been talking about this for a while, but I want to put together a compilation and then do a pro snow skaters react, because some of them are so bad. Like one guy gets like 2 pieces of metal and then bolts them into the bottom of a skateboard. And that one had like over 1 million views on YouTube. And I'm like, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know what one you're talking about, Andrew. Bums me out.
It does. And it's like, what is that? Who's that for? It's pointless. Anyway.
Lays into the next
shit
question.
On the DIY community, I guess.
No, have fun. Try it out, but it's not going to be good for snow skating. Sorry, keep going, Eric.
Jeremy Manson, can't you just use a skateboard deck without the trucks? No. No, you can't. I mean, you can, and you can ride down the hill, but you're not going to actually be able to do anything. Yeah, it's if you want to mess around, fine. But are you snow skating just riding a skateboard deck down a hill? No, you're not.
I'd say film a part. See, try it for yourself, man.
Yeah.
Like if you think that's
that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah.
For the record, if you don't know who Jeremy is, he's obviously joking because he's actually a pro snow skater.
Yeah,
so.
this is Jeremy Manson we're talking about. Jeremy Manson again. Who smokes more, Young Pete or Josh Seguin? Really good question.
That is a good one.
I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Skate with not enough layers on or too many layers? I'm going to go 2 layers every time. I hate being cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you do that? No, there's something else to add is socks. Because I believe both of you are not a 2-pair of sock person.
No.
Yeah.
I have, I
used to be, but nope, not anymore.
No, I just wear like heat tech style socks, and I find those are fine.
Yeah, I just switched to those this year, and it's like, it's been a big difference, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, we'll get into this too when we do not so fire rapid questions. Yeah.
Last Jeremy question. This is for you, Zach. If I can nail a 360 flip lip side down the gnarliest rail, why can't I seem to get the right girl?
Man, that's a question that's burdened mankind for generations and generations.
Burdened Ryan Sheckler for 15 years now.
Yeah. That's a quote from, if anyone's ever seen Life of Ryan on MTV, he says that while he's driving in his car, his new Escalade or whatever, and it's a valid question.
God, so
hopefully he found a chill girl by now. We love him.
Cocaine in the membrane. Yo, Zach, why are you such a poser? It's a great question, really.
Yeah, I was hoping. See, when people listen to this, I really hope they just don't try to search for my footage. So I was expecting no one would actually know if I skated or not, so I guess I've been called out.
Matt plays day sesh or night sesh? Day sesh for me every time. I can't function after like 7 or 8. I'm such an old man at this point. Like Alan's trying to get me to go out for night sessions that start at like 8 o'clock, and I'm like, dude, like I'm sorry, man, this is too late. Zach, Andrew?
Day filming is, I like watching more, but personally I'm more of a night sesh person. I've always been like a big advocate of like work lights and lighting a spot and like that kind of stuff. But yeah, I love it because the sun just goes down, and I think I get a little sharper after night, and I kind of, I don't know. That's just me personally, night sesh for sure.
Okay. Zach?
I actually hate snow skating at night. I only do it because we're kind of forced into it with only having so much daytime. But I'm like Andrew though. I'm more of a night owl, or like I function better at night. But I don't like snow skating at night. It gets colder. I hate setting up lights, and also like I had LASIK eye surgery, and the lights like fuck with my eyes.
Oh, really?
Which is really strange and only a me problem. But yeah, so I really actually hate snow skating at night. I just do it when I have to.
Yeah. Yeah, I still do ride at night. Like I work a day job Monday through Friday, so I can't like during the winter skate really in any daylight unless it's on the weekends. But not ideal, but you got to do what you got to do. Matt, when is Hair Club coming out? Oh God, I wish I knew, and I wish this video was coming out. This is Rob Provo's video from a very, very long time ago that has been hyped up within snow skate circles, and we haven't heard anything about since, I don't know, 2012-ish, 2013. I don't know. I hope it comes out one day. I don't think it's ever going to come out. But.
Listen to the episode.
Yeah, go back and listen to the Rob Provo episode. He talks about it. Great human.
Yeah.
Hakumi's must-see video part. The last 2 parts in Sava. Dave and Alan's part back to back. Two very different styles of snow skating, but two incredible video parts. I think that's the cleanest answer to that question.
Yeah, I'd go the other way. I'd say I'd go back and watch like Rico in True Color, or not True Color. What am I talking about? And Turn It Out, and just see how far like snow skating's come. I think that's what I would get a lot more motivation watching people on plastic or like old Premiere boards that can still do flip tricks and shit and skate interesting things in standard definition. I just love that.
That's Dave's part was standard definition, to be fair.
That's true. I agree with both of you guys so much, honestly. Like, I draw inspiration from both sides. Like, I love watching old videos and I love watching new ones. And my answer is somewhere in the middle. I'm going to pick Phil Smodgy's part from True Color. That was a groundbreaking part when it came out.
Fantastic part. Yep.
Oh my God, that ender. Holy shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and it still holds up. It's a fucking phenomenal part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Phil's style is so, I don't know how to say it. Dirt biker style, is that a way to put it? I don't even know. He just does everything very, very straight up, very, very clean, you know. I don't know. How would you describe this?
I don't know how. It's a very unique snow skating style. It doesn't look like he's skateboarding because he skateboards, but he doesn't really skateboard. Like, I don't know. There's not a good way to describe it, but it's
objective. Maybe would be a way to do it. Like, he's just very straight to it.
I feel like he's almost kind of just cruising sometimes. It's like, kickflip back 50 on a rail, but I'm just kind of cruising. He's he lands. He's like, throw a hand down sometimes. He's been known to do that, a little hand drag, but like a stylish one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his style's sick when he doesn't have two hands on the ground, supporting his body weight, holding him up. I'm just kidding, Phil. But no, I really do like how forward he skates too. Like, instead of skating, with his shoulders totally parallel to the board. I mean, I skate with my shoulders open, which is definitely a problem sometimes, but I noticed that Phil does that too. And he does it well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a good part.
Would not recommend skating with your shoulders open though. You lose a lot of pop that way. Brewmaster Visual Decay. What happened to Premier Snowskate in their downfall years? Zach, I'm going to give this one to you.
This is something I was kind of saying earlier to you guys that I don't want to act like I know a bunch about. I don't think I know the business side of it at all. I can only speak like for a couple friends that were kind of riding for Premier around like 2009, 2010, somewhere in the years where like it was kind of obviously falling off, but they were still trying to like flow some riders. And I can say it was definitely like a risky biz or just like very sketchy situation they found themselves in, like very unresponsive. They're just kind of giving people a board, kind of just trying to have a team for the sake of having a team, it felt like. I feel like everyone just jumped ship. I mean, it was evident that Ambition was a better board. Icon was a better board. Why would anyone want to stick around and ride a Premier? I mean, they also, they went through different management too. After Michelle had left, they were ran by I want to say a Japanese company. Mm-hmm. It was like something, I remember. So, I mean, it was all just falling apart from all ends from what I understand. And they weren't supporting their riders who are the backbone of a lot of things like that. So what are they going to do if you have no one promoting their company?
Yeah, they really didn't improve on their boards after, 2004, 2005?
Yeah,
like, they just got worse.
They only got worse.
And Ambition and Icon came a couple years later, and why would you keep riding and supporting Premier at that point?
It's probably the short answer, yeah. I mean, also, if you don't really care, I mean, I don't want to claim this. I don't know this for sure, but I have a couple of friends, or we all have a couple of friends that started to ride for a company that he had tried to start up. The owner of Premier tried to start up later, and it was pretty much the same situation again they found themselves in. They didn't really give a fuck. It was kind of a cash grab. No one really cared. They're not snow skaters.
The boards were
it's a business move.
Yeah, the boards were arguably worse too.
Yeah, they're even worse than a Premier. And those are the best dudes out there riding them, yeah. So I think that's a sum of that, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. That's it for listener questions. Zach, Andrew, any that I missed before we get into
let me go through and make sure we didn't miss any great ones here.
Before we get into our not so rapid fire or not so fire rapid questions.
A Phil question I would throw out.
Yeah, I got one too. This Louis Say Cheese person asked, oldest snow skater. This year I saw 2 different snow skaters on Instagram that were in their 40s, and they were fucking good. Like, they're solid snow skaters.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was like doing flip tricks downstairs, and he was like 42 or something. I don't know. I think Ambition Army posts them on their story, and I was like, this is fucking sick.
That's awesome.
And there's also a dude in Traverse City area. I can't think of his name. He snow skates with like Corey and Andrew. His name might be Carlos. I think he's a little bit older, and he's fucking sick too. So I don't know. I want to be snow skating when I'm that age for sure.
Definitely.
I think that's the one that stood out that we didn't answer for me. Andrew, did you have one?
Yeah. Have you ever heard Rico's song called "What's a Snow Skate" on YouTube? I think that's a good one. Look it up. It's funny. That's really all I had. These are a lot of good questions. Yeah, I want to thank all the listeners for sure for sending these our way.
Yeah, we're getting great responses.
You know what's funny about that Rico song?
Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
That was my username on the Premiere forum. Was "What's a snow skate?"
That's so funny.
That was me.
Oh,
a tidbit great. That doesn't matter. Anyways.
Yeah, you can't even go in the Wayback Machine. Yeah, because all that. It's so sad. I wish someone had some caps of that, because those are so cool. I mean, we talk about it, but we were there. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Great times.
Yeah.
Great times. All right. Not so rapid fire questions. Snow skate setup, board setup, grip, shoes, any other session necessities. Zach?
Sure. Let me find my notes. Maybe I deleted them. For me right now, I'm riding. Like I said earlier, I ride like 3 fucking boards. So I currently am riding the Dave Enger one with a hybrid mix of old Extreme Grip exposed and a little bit of Tundra. And then I'm riding the Filmora board, the brand new one with just Tundra, and then an old Filmora with another hybrid combo of grip. And then I just use the Vans Skate Highs with waterproof spray. Honestly, I'll ride pretty much most boards. The only thing I don't prefer to ride is really Jeremy's board and Josh Oakes' board. I don't like the A3 shape? Whatever, the one that's more not so squared off and rounded.
Yeah, the more rounded.
I've realized. I've tried it out. It's not for me. So, yeah, I don't like the A2 shapes. Or I actually don't mind Jensen's. This is another mix between. It's like an A4 shape, which I think has both. It's a rounded nose and the squared off tail. I can ride that one too. I just don't like the other ones. And then I like to bring a brush with at every session if that's part of my equipment setup, because I need to brush my board off if snow's getting stuck to it.
For sure.
I think that's it.
Andrew?
Yeah, the same with the brush. I just have one at the park now all the time. That was nice. I just use an old like what you would call like a windshield scraper that you would carry in your car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I used to.
Yep. And then also I use the plastic scraper part to take ice off of rails and boxes, which is also nice around my park.
Good call.
Worked really well the other day,
go.
and it doesn't scratch the wood or plastic or anything, so that's really cool. Board. I skate the Moreau Tundra grip. I've really only been skating that this season. I think it's a good kind of all around. I'm trying not to get it. I mean, I have other boards. I have like the Hot Dish Gerlach, which is the big 35x9, and that has a Tundra as well. But I'm just trying to kind of keep with one. And the Moreau for me seems to be the good for rails, gaps, flip tricks and stuff. So sticking to that. Shoes, I do the Etnies Jefferson MTEs, 3M thin silhouette lining with what you would call like a waterproof layer in there too. So it's been pretty good. I haven't not treated them or anything like that. They came treated, and I'm just was putting them through, but this is like my second season riding them, and I think I might start to shoe glue the top preemptively and maybe do some waterproofing, just to touch them up a bit. Something I like to do is before things start to rip, is either with super glue or shoe goo, just kind of build up a little barrier that just helps out the edges of your shoe from falling apart. Little pro tip. Yeah, that'd be board grip. Other necessities. Yeah, for me, it's just like, I guess, long underwear and jeans or usually khakis. Usually go like a Dickies, kind of a work pant.
Yeah.
And then if it's like, I'd say like 20 degrees enough, I'll just do a t-shirt and then like a light outer layer jacket, hat and gloves. If it gets colder than that, then maybe I'll do like a thermal. But really, once you get moving, especially if you're on a park sesh, like you don't really need to worry about getting cold.
For sure.
Other than your toes, that's really the only thing that you're vulnerable is. Because if you get wet, then you're gonna get cold, and then you're gonna have a bad time. So you're gonna want to not do that. But then, yeah, just getting the thermaline socks, that was a big thing. Erica, you actually told me about those, like, I think I don't know, maybe last year when we were doing the pod, we talked about it. I picked some up this year, like thermal insulated outdoor socks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to be a 2-sock person, and now I'm just doing the 1. And yeah, I usually get about, I don't know, like maybe up to 4 hours of a sesh before my feet get cold. So that's pretty good. And yeah, that's basically my setup.
For sure. Yeah, the socks that you're describing, the ones that I use are Uniglow, UNIQLO Heat Tech socks, and that's pretty much all of my like underlayer. Is I have the Uniglow socks. I have probably 5 pairs now, so I just try to wash them as much as I can and just swap them out every couple hours if I'm riding all day or whatever. Uniglow, like the Heat Tech long johns, and then I have to plug these because these are the best pants. I've been riding them for a season and a half now, and they look like normal pants. Like they're just like normal khaki style pants or whatever. I have a black pair and a khaki pair, but they're warm lined and they're slightly waterproof on the outside. So if it's like, I don't know, even like 5 degrees Celsius and above, all I'm doing is just wearing these, totally fine. They look like pants. They're just as warm as snow pants. They like wick water away, moisture a little bit. And if it's any colder than that, I just wear long johns underneath it, totally fine. So I think it's the perfect solution to, you're wearing a normal pant. It feels like a normal pant, but you have the looks. I mean, you have the looks of a normal pant, but you have the protection and the feel of a snow pant at the same time. So I cannot plug those enough. They're only like $40. If you get a pair or two, every couple of seasons or whatever, it's not too bad. But I cannot say enough good things about those pants. I do not skate in anything else. As far as a board setup, I ride
Eric,
2 boards. Yeah, what?
Are you sure you don't look like a kook in those?
I try not to. Have you noticed in the last year?
I'm literally asking. No, I don't remember them. No, I want some, but I'm picky.
Look at all my. Well, I guess
what is
there
the
hasn't
brand?
been on.
Yeah, send me some clips. Let me see if
yeah,
you look like a kook. I'll be the judge.
Go look at all my Instagram stuff from this year. Go see if you can tell a difference between normal pants or if I'm wearing those.
Yeah, you know what? I never noticed, so I guess that's my answer. I guess you don't.
There you go.
I'm literally
exactly.
I can't think of it, so.
And yeah. I would rather be warm and look like a kook than not look like a kook and be cold. Even if that's the trade-off, I will look like a kook and be warm all day. Yeah. No, this is a really good balance.
I mean, I used to wear pajama pants. Who do I?
That's true. You did.
I don't have room to talk. I'm just fucking with you, Eric. I do understand.
I would say I think those are better than because I think with typically with like a flannel or a fleece lined jean or anything, just the weight. That's always been my thing. The weight and then the use gets you hot too quick. But I mean, the unique ones are breathable. But yeah, typically, that's why I layer. But
yeah. And if you don't have that sort of stuff, you can't go wrong with layering too, and then just swapping it out when it gets wet. But board setup, I skate 2 boards. I skate the Jensen for my little board, and then I skate the Moreau for the big board. I have 3 boards in my trunk. I have an old Jensen that I use for like street spots where I know my board's going to get beat up. I have a relatively new Jensen for, I guess, anywhere where I know my board is not going to get destroyed. And then I have the Moreau for usually snow only spots or when I'm going faster and not flipping the board as much.
Grip, I use a hybrid on the Jensens of the Tundra for the nose and the tail pieces, and then the standard extreme grip in the middle. And then the Moreau, I have Tundra on the whole thing. Shoes, I have a couple pairs of Skate High MTEs, and then I'm just starting to skate the standard Skate High as the non-MTE versions, and those seem all right. Granted, I had really good grip. I mean, it's basically icy and really, really not wet snow here in Minneapolis right now, so grip's really not really an issue. So I'll be curious to try them out on a more warmer day when it's a little bit slushier. But yeah, that's the setup. But I honestly cannot say enough good things about those pants. Those are the ticket. I'm so hyped to have found those. I sound like a fanboy, just a goon, but they're honestly that sick. But
I love it. Hell yeah.
Favorite snow skater, Andrew?
Alan, for sure.
Yep, great answer. Yeah. Zach?
Phil Morrow is my all-time favorite.
Love it. Yeah, I had a tough time with this one. I think it has to be Alan. I mean, I've looked up to that dude for so long, and obviously super good friends with him now and skate with him all the time. But yeah, I don't know. He's great, but honorable mention to you, Zach, and then also to Jensen. I was thinking back for parts over the last 5 years, and your guys' parts have been the parts that I've been most excited to watch. I mean, you guys have it's a very unique snow skate specific style and spot selection that I just don't see out of a lot of other people. So you and Jensen, shout out to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, dog. That's funny because I feel like I look back and I don't really like any of my parts except for Encore at this point. I feel like I don't know. That was the one that I'm like, okay, everything in here is relatively clean. Yeah, I am. I have a high standard. I kind of want to say a little bit more about Phil. I picked Phil because I've been watching him since we were in a video together back in 2008, and he's just some kid I watched on YouTube, and I like his approach to snow skating a lot. I've never heard him complain once about snow skating. He's extremely positive, which I'm the opposite, and there's so much to be learned from him. And his snow skate style, it looks so, how do I put it, just fun, but it's still really good snow skating. Mm-hmm. And there's some really gnarly stuff, and he can do a little bit of it all. He always just even kind of surprises me because it looks like he's having so much fun, but he'll still do tricks that are that's fucking hard, nollie stuff. And I don't know, that's why I picked Phil. I just love his snow skating so much. Hypes me up to watch it. So
for sure, Phil was actually who I was thinking about as my second favorite because honestly, what you were describing, all the fun that you see in all the Quebecers have this attitude. And for instance, I thought about one of my favorite edits over the course of the last few years is Phil's Sugar Shack, and just skating random objects. To me, that's what snow skating is really all about. It's just that creativity and the fun that they have. I think that echoes across the Quebecers series for sure, and just the Canadian attitude in general is something I've always liked. Rico, going back that far, Rico is one of my favorites. But yeah, Eric, how about you?
Alan, Zach, and Jensen for me.
Don't try to throw me in the mix now. It was on.
I do love Phil Moreau, though. He is definitely an answer to a couple more questions.
Everyone does. He's the best.
Yeah, he is the best. Most talented snow skater on earth. Zach?
My answer for a long time will remain as Josh Stokes, and I've thought that way for many, many years now. He can do a little bit of everything, and he just does it well. I think he's capable of anything he really wants to do. He's one of those skaters to me.
Andrew?
Yeah, probably Dave. I mean, whether you're front crook in a handrail or repairing the joists on the bottom of the floor or whatever, it's just
true.
That's a talent for me. I mean, anyone who's got both of those skill sets, that's just so random. But
I like the way you looked at that question, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean those are two very different skill sets, and I think Josh does leather working too. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a good answer.
Yeah, his carpentry skills are insane too.
Yeah, but yeah, they play. I mean, it's got to be in terms of technical skill. For me, it was kind of hard to pick between them, but I think Yeah, I don't know. But then there's some stuff I see Josh do, and then I'm just like, yeah, fuck. I mean, it's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
I have such a cop-out answer. I mean, 3-way tie between Josh, Alan, and Dave. Like, I can't choose. They're all talented, and they're all talented in their own way, you know?
Yeah. You see, that's the thing, is your answer is the absolute truth.
Yeah, and their styles are...
But I'm going to pick Josh.
Yeah, Alan in that mix too, and it's just a different style, but just nonetheless an elevated in terms of like the spots that like we know what an Alan spot would look like, and like that's to me, that's a good answer. Yeah.
Yeah. I skipped a question. Which skater or snow skater had the biggest influence on how you skate? Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, growing up here in Minnesota and growing up on the Premier forums too, and like posting clips from my yard. That's how I met Alan, was on way back when. So yeah, and definitely you and like the Minnesota skaters. I mean, you for sure have been a big influence on me because I mean we're both from Minnesota, and then we kind of are part of this little club of snow skaters. We've been like skating together for a while, so I mean that's been
For sure.
huge influence on me and just pushing me to. Whereas when I was in middle school and high school, like none of those people snow skate anymore besides me. So it's like it's cool to have the community and however by whatever means stick to it. Yeah, and you guys definitely represent that for me because you guys just keep pushing me to make parks and keep snow skating. So yeah,
Sick. Thank you, Andrew. Zach?
I kind of have a few answers here too. Sorry. If that's kind of a cop out as well. But I picked in the beginning a big one. I guess it's kind of almost in the phases. The beginning, a big one for me was Rico Desjardins. Like I would see his clips on Premiere and just be like, dude, this guy stacks so much footage. Like I guess he was a big motivator for me to just put out footage. Not like put out anything. I just mean like I'm really motivated for me to film my own videos and put things on YouTube or even just share with the community. And I thought he was so sick. It seemed like he had such a huge love for snow skating. And then after that, a little bit later on would be like Phil and Alan, just watching them. And they were just such pioneers in like pushing the envelope and progressing the sport. It was like, it wasn't almost like, oh, I want to do what they can do, because I didn't think I ever even could. It was just like, I need to step my shit up. These guys are insane. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's going to sound like I'm a fanboy, and it's because I am, but and then Phil Moru, right, currently for the past few years has been like my biggest influence because, again, just like how he approaches spots, his attitude towards spots. Like, I just wish I could be a bit more like him with snow skating. Like I witnessed him. Like, I don't think I've ever been on a session with him where he's like, can we go to the spot? He's like along for the ride. And when he gets there, he's going to make something happen. And it's going to probably be like the coolest trick anyways, because of how he does it. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, and I don't mean to discredit his skating. That's not what I'm saying at all. But like, you don't have to be like the gnarliest dude for you to be someone that people really appreciate. Dave and Alan and Phil and Josh and all these people, I love their skating, but I relate more to Phil's skating, and I watch him, and it makes me feel, just like understanding that what is it, like identity and the way you do something is just as important than what you're actually doing. So that's my big influence right now.
For sure. Yeah, my answer is hands down Alan. I mean, I don't think I would skate nearly as fast or even think about skating some bigger stuff had I not started skating with Alan in like 2010, 2011, whatever. And it's been great. I mean, I live a mile away from Alan, and we've been that close for like the last 5 years. So we get to skate together a lot. Andrew, we skate together a lot as well. And yeah, it's just been sick. Like having somebody as gnarly as Alan, like to be able to just snow skate with. And, I've been snow skating with him like 10 years now, which is pretty crazy, but
you guys
definitely.
Also, I should mention, you guys push each other on the sash quite a bit. It's an interesting thing. That's, I think, really healthy in snow skating to have a friend that you can hold to higher standards. And I think it's really interesting watching you two push it, and like the shit that you guys do. It's really funny. So
we give each other so much shit on the session.
Yeah,
it's great because we're friends on top of that. We're really, really good friends. And I don't know, he's always trying to get me to go bigger, and I'm always giving him shit about trying flip tricks or, hey, Alan, there's that 30 stair handrail, go do that thing or whatever. It's no problem for you, you know? So a lot of it is just joking back and forth, but it does have the effect of, it is pushing each other. You're very right, Andrew. Mm-hmm. I don't think about it that way a lot, but it's true.
No, and you wouldn't, but I mean, as an outside, like, that's one of the things that I love skating about you guys is, like, I get in on that, and, like, it pushes me to, and, like, we just all kind of push each other. But yeah, so it's really awesome. I think it's a really, probably similar to your skate crew or, you know, whatever, but just having that support network is really, I think when we talk about influence, I think that's maybe the biggest end of the day thing in it.
You know, it's really clear how Alan influences your skating, Eric. Really? Like, even in like some of your, for me, it's evident. It's like when I'm watching some of your parts, it's clear that you have like some of the more street oriented stuff. And then it's clear when you're like sitting in on sessions with Alan. Mm. And I think it's a great balance. It's so sick to have all of it. I'm a huge fan of it, but I can just absolutely see the influence on,
interesting.
You know, like drawing from his skating for sure.
Yeah, and I mean
sure, that is a compliment, obviously.
No, thank you. But no, it's funny. Like I've honestly never thought about it, but I mean, my answer to this is of course Alan. So of course there's some effect, but I don't know. Like the spots that I would choose to skate, like had I not been skating with Alan, I mean, it'd probably be just like a lot of like street stuff, and it's almost like he'll kind of jokingly discourage me from other spots. Like it'll be like we'll see an 8 stair or something, and it'll just be like a flat 8 stair. And I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a decent spot. Let's go skate it. He's like, oh no, hell no, dude. We're going to find this 14 stair in the woods with a natural run up and this gap.
Yeah.
And like, he always has the spots, and he's like, I don't know. He has an eye for that sort of stuff. And it definitely, I don't know. It pushes me in a lot different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I'd rather see that than a standard 8 stair anyway. So
true. It is a good point. Yeah.
All objective, obviously, but you know.
Yeah.
All right. We need to take a quick Zoom break here. Zoom break and beer break.
For sure.
All right. We're back. Next question, favorite video / favorite video part. Zach?
My favorite video, and this is a little bit biased, but is Turn It Out by Premiere. What is that? Probably around 2004, I think that was. That was the first video I had ever seen. It came with my plastic Premiere Fortress board, and I still love that video. I still watch it to get hyped. So, yeah, that's mine.
Zach? Andrew?
Man, Zach, that's a good one. My favorite video, I'm going to go a different route. My favorite video is Ice Lord Cripplers, for sure.
Ah, he stole mine.
I know you were going to, I'm going to take it from you. But
yep.
My favorite video,
good pick too.
Part would be probably Phil's part from True Color. I mean, that was just like I remember watching it in the live stream, and just like my mind was just like, my jaw dropped, like physically dropped. I was just like, man, that was hype for me.
Yeah, amazing.
But for very different reasons. Yeah, like Phil's part was amazing, but I like Cripplers because it's like, it's that community, it's that kind of goon shit that I just love. So
yeah. Yeah, Andrew, you stole mine. I got to start taking these questions first, I think. No, I like, there's nothing better than Ice Lords. Like, oh man, it's such a great video, great skating, such a good vibe. Honorable mentions to Axe Sword, the edit the year before Ice Lords from Awkward. Nick Stefani in Snowskate Aliens. I know Dave said Stefani in True Color, but I like his Aliens part a little bit more. I think that's just a super fun part. The Skrill Clinton teaser, I think I've mentioned this on a past podcast, but the Skrill Clinton teaser is probably the most hype Snowskate video that's ever been produced. Like way hype, like way more hype than Skrill Clinton itself. And Skrill Clinton was a great video, but the teaser is incredible. Go back and watch that.
Talk about an inside joke becoming.
Is that the one with the rap song that's like, Gia?
Yeah, MC8 automatic. Yep. Oh, that's so sick. And then
okay.
Yep.
Damn. Sorry, go ahead.
Go back and watch that, Zach. It's so good. It's so good.
I think a little fun fact though about
I will.
Skrill Clinton is just in I think it was just in the Ambition group text. They just would, the way I think I heard it from Alan was like they would just add, SKR in front of stuff, so it'd be like Skrill Clinton, Skrill Cosby, and like they would just kind of jokingly do all this kind of stuff, and it just, I don't know, that's the name they picked for the video. I think there's really nothing about more than that, I think is what it was.
Oh, I love it. Sounds like some Alan shit.
Yeah, for sure. An Alan thing.
Yeah. Yep. And then Josh Seguin's part in Skrill Clinton too. I love that part. And that front board he did on the bridge for his ending clip, that was so buck. Like, I know Alan's backboarded it and it didn't look as buck, but with Josh Seguin's style, like he didn't really look in control for like at any point in that front board, which is like the sickest part about it. Like that dude just sends it. It's so sick. I love Seguin footage.
Yeah.
So tight.
I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this in a bad way. That's my favorite Josh Seguin part is Skrill Clinton. His Skrill Clinton part is my favorite Josh. Dude, he goes in on that part.
He does. It's so tight. Yeah, he killed it.
I didn't know we were doing part as well, by the way. I didn't answer that, so.
Oh, you want to throw an honorable mentioner for in there?
Yeah, I got – thanks. Yeah, pretty much. I got two, though. My first one that I really remember loving for so long was Josh Oaks' Something to Be Said part. Like when that one came out, that was my first look at like a really proper skateboard style snow skate part with a little bit of everything, like a big rail, every flip trick. It was so well rounded. I was like, damn, this is a really fucking proper part. And then another one I always think about, it's not even like so much, I'll forget about it from time to time, but every time I watch it maybe and think about it, I'm like, holy shit, is this part well-rounded too? Is Jensen's part in Sava. Yes. There's a lot of MBDs in there for the time. There's like kickflip board slide on a handrail. That was like one of the first ones ever. I guess him and Josh maybe tied for that. Like that crazy front board body varial style trick on a handrail. And then he like does a fucking nollie tray flip as wait, it's not a Zender, is it? Maybe it is Zender off like that drop to slant. Oh, you're right. The board slide's Zender. My bad. That's a fucking crazy trick. Yeah. I guess, I don't know. That part just shows how versatile of a skateboard or snow skater he is. Excuse me. I feel like he displays that in a lot of his parts, but for whatever reason, that one has a little bit of everything. Even some really creative stuff in the middle there that might go more unnoticed that I really love. So
yes, those are the two underrated, just great part. Yep. And I need to shout this out every time we bring up Jensen. I need to bring this up that the front shove on flat, 5 pushes on flat ground, and then board slides the 15 in Sherbrooke. Like that, it's incredible. With no snow anywhere too, like no bailout. It's amazing. God, Jensen's the best, dude.
Yeah, that's actually psycho.
Yeah, to push into a 15 stair rail on a snow skate, that's nuts. To push into anything on a snow skate is pretty nuts, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, gnarly. All right, moving on. Favorite trick to do, Zach?
Mine's just a board slide. I love the feeling of a board slide on a snow skate. Just a board slide. It's so fun and feels good.
Yep. Andrew?
Yeah, kind of the same, but mine is doing tricks mid board slide. It's one of the things I look forward to every year. Is one of the cool things about snow skating is if I'm doing a front board and then just doing just a little shove it or something. It's the best. It's the best feeling. Yeah.
That is fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
For me, big tweaked ollies, like just ollieing high and then just boning it a little bit. So fun. And then fakey big spins. I've been doing a lot of fakey big spins this year, and that's a really fun trick. I've been enjoying those.
No one would ever say that but you.
You might be right.
Yeah.
God, they're such a fun trick, though. They're great.
I think that's a good thing for the record, I think that's a good thing.
Favorite trick you've ever gotten, Zach?
So I have two here, both with a little bit of a backstory, I suppose, if that's okay. But my ender in Encore is a board slide, just like on this kind of a little bit up and then down handrail. It's like a stretched rail. I picked that just because that day we had no intentions of going to that spot. We had woken up at Jeremy's house. We were on like kind of a trip. I was coming up from downstate, so I guess it was on a trip. And Blay was there, and Pete was there, and everyone the night before like drank a lot. I don't know how I wasn't hungover in the morning. That's surprising. Usually I'd be one of those victim. But it was only me, Blay, and Pete that went out that morning. Everyone else was like too fucked up or something. And we went out to an area outside of Marquette, and we actually went to go look at this roof thing that ended up sucking. And I was like, I don't really have anything. Let's just check out this rail. And we got to it, and I was like, it was one of those things where I was like, fuck, I know I could do it, but fuck, I'm going to fucking die if I miss it. I'm going to rack it. And I've never board slid a rail that tall. It was like almost waist high from flat, but I always knew I probably could. So I started trying it and getting on the side of it, and I'm like actually about to throw in the towel. Blay and Pete start bringing the cameras out, and I'm like, God damn it, fuck. Blay's like, dude, like, you can do it. Like, jump on it, man. Sorry if my play impression sucks, but I'm going to do it a lot on this podcast. And I was like, fuck, like, I know he's right. This sucks. I have to try it. So, like, once I really started to ollie up there and put my weight over it, yeah, it happened pretty quick, but it was mainly, like, me afraid of jumping on it for a while. But point being, I guess I was just overcoming a fear on that one, and I like the idea that I didn't really set out to do it. I'm such a calculated snow skater, unfortunately. Like, I have to set out, I have to prep everything. So the idea of like going there and getting that, and then it being like my last trick was really exciting, just because I didn't plan it at all. And
for sure.
Good. And my other one was the front board on the Munising 13 stair rail from Skrill Clinton. Actually, it was like a quick clip in the front's part, but that year was shitty for me. I like fucked up my ankle really bad, and I ended up getting surgery a little bit later on, but I had been like looking at that rail forever and I always wanted to front board it. And I can't tell you how long I also jumped at that thing and jumped over it. My friend's freezing because I won't actually attempt it while I'm trying to get him to film me. And again, it was one of those things where once I just started actually trying it, it probably took only a few minutes, but it was just me working my way up to it. So more just a spot we've been seeing since we were kids, and kind of like, wow, that's if anyone did that, it'd be cool, like out of our little friend group. So that one felt really good too. And I'm still hyped I did it. Big fear factor on that one as well. So those are the two, I guess.
And that's you took me to that last year, right, Zach? Because we went to scope last year? I think so. We went to scope that 6 flat 6 or the 7 flat 7 that we couldn't skate.
Yeah,
we looked at the 13 on the other
garbage.
Side, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
That's
that thing
one,
is bigger than it looks. That 13.
It is, and actually, Phil Smodgy, to give him credit, front boarded it the same year I did, but like a month before I did. Like, we were there with like Matt Plays. It was like an icon trip, actually. It was one they were filming for Something to Be Said, so 2010, 11. And we all went there as like a group. It was like me, Dan, Chance, Neil, Matt, and like Jeremy, everyone. And that day, fucking Phil rode up to that thing, and I don't in my head, I'm probably not far off. He front boarded that in like 2 seconds, dude. It was probably like a warm up trick because he was gonna 50 it, and he started trying 50 on it. And then he was over it, and then 2 years ago, Dan Burgeon finally 50'd it. But that thing is pretty blinding. You come up to it, it's just a rail down a cliff, so it's spooky. I mean, for Phil, he wasn't shook. Dan did it real quick too. He probably did it in under 10 minutes, but I'm not one of those scarers, unfortunately. Yeah, it's scary to me.
Thing is buck.
Long answer. Sorry.
No, you're good. Andrew, favorite trick you've ever done?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all just stuff that I battle for in my parks, I guess. So, like, one that came to mind was I had like probably like a 4-foot box, and I figured out I could ollie over it, and then I got to shove it over it. Just a nice big shove it over like a box. Had some good hit to it. That was just, and then catching it and just cleanly like coming down. That was one of my favorite things. And then one year I had these snowboarders at my high school got rid of an old box their parents said they had to, and it was like a big snowboard sized, what I would call like a trapezoid box, so like, or like an up flat down. And they had done maybe 1/2-inch PVC tubing across the top of it, so it's up, flat, and down, and it was just wide enough apart that you could lock into it on a snow skate. So my favorite thing to do would be to come board slide up to the flat, finish that into a 180, and then just there'd be like a fakie ollie down into the flat. And then like one year, my friend for photography class came over and we snapped a picture of it, and it just looks really cool.
Sick.
Just kind of a random, like you can't not do that trick on that box because like it's not, you have to like kind of lock in to do it, but it's one of those things. Just sticks out for me. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I think my favorite trick was the 180 switch nose press, 180 out or full butter tail press thing, and hot dish on the Marquette BMX track thing. I still don't know what to call that trick, but I battled that trick, and that felt so good to get. And then honorable mention to the pop shove it tail grab finger flip in Let's Play, the part that I had a couple clips in Alan's part too. I always liked how that trick turned out. And that was a very organic thing too. Like I don't think I had even thought about that trick before that day. And then we just set that spot up over that weird little handrail and just started hitting it. Shout out to Brandon Middlesworth. He got wrecked on that thing that day. He was going to go over it, and then he bailed at the last second when he was like testing it or something. Went to put his foot on the kicker, slipped out on the kicker, and sacked the rail, but like vertically, like like into like straight into the rail, but still sacked it. He got so destroyed. And that same week,
clip of that?
No, that one wasn't filmed. And I think it was the same week he sacked that rail or that clip at the U of M that I post every Thanksgiving where I basically just jump and sack that rail. He actually sacked that rail that day. And he I didn't actually sack it. I hit like the back of my butt and I was fine. Like I was like rattled, but I was like, okay. Like,
is he goofy?
Yeah, he's goofy.
Is he goofy?
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep. Just went to backboard it, missed the ollie, sacked it, and yeah, he actually got messed up. Like I remember I was staying with him at the time, and he went back, took a shower, and I could just hear him yelling in the shower. Like, he got destroyed. Yeah, he got messed up. So that was all in a week. He sacked those two rails in like a week. Feels so bad for the dude.
That rail is oddly intimidating.
It is.
That U of M one.
Yeah, it's not.
It's longer than it looks. It's low to get on, but I remember going there with all these ideas for skateboarding, and I got to it, and I was like, "Yo, let's just keep checking out the campus."
Yeah. Well, the good news is that rail's gone, Zach, so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Must have been recent.
Yeah, I think it was like the last year or so. I'm kind of happy it's gone, honestly. I don't ever want to go back to that thing.
I love that.
I was at the U. I was on the shout out to the U of M skateboard club. We push them to say like, hey, you could make these spots so that people wouldn't get hurt, and because people would skate it anyway. And then their solution was like, no, we'll just get rid of everything. So cool.
Oh
man,
that was fun. Yeah.
Damn. All right, last trick you learned, Andrew.
Boy, that's a good one. I was trying to do this thing I can do on skateboard. Like I've been trying to, I don't know why I can't do it, but I can do it on a skateboard, but like 180 no complies. I've been trying to get there. I got one on the park, like I think a couple weeks ago, whenever we had skatable snow, I had one. That would have been it for me. I was really hyped. It's a much different maneuver on a snow skate, but it
is a lot different.
It's so much harder on a snow skate.
Yeah, because you don't. Yeah, but yeah, I kind of got one, so like I feel pretty good. I didn't have high expectations for it because it's like there's just so many things like that you would benefit from having wheels and trucks. But yeah, for me, I was like, it's kind of like a scoop and a kind of throw your leg at it situation. But yeah, that was me. That's the kind of stuff I want to incorporate into my thing. I'm trying to be like kind of more fancy lad tricks on a snow skate, more or less.
Sure. Yeah. Love it. Zach?
Today I did a front board 270 on a little ledge. I've just never done one before.
Whoa.
It's not like well, Phil does them all the time. Seen Dan do a bunch of them. It's not that crazy of a trick. It's just I've never tried one, so I did a couple of those today. I guess that was it.
I've always liked that trick. Full cab for me. Learned those about a month ago, and I've been doing those. Those are easier than you think. Really fun.
No, they're not. I tried them today. Neil did one on flat today, and I couldn't fucking do it. They're not possible. Even though I watched Neil do one today. Yeah, Neil did one on flat. It was a little sketchy, but Neil said he's been doing them, and he asked me today, where's a stair set I can do one on? It needs to be slightly downhill run up for it, though, and I think he could do one, so you guys might have to battle that one out.
Yes. Oh, I love that. It's so sick that Neil's skating again, too.
Hell yeah, he's been into it.
Love it. Most illegal trick, Zach?
For me, we already kind of said it earlier, but I don't want to see anything that goes over 360 shove. I hate 540 shove and anything beyond that. I don't want to see someone just whipping a fucking shove and landing on it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
540 big spin, debatable, but shove, no go.
Sure. Andrew?
Kind of illegal. Probably dark slides. It's been a while. We talked about it before. Haven't seen one in a while. I've tried them. It's a good way to get hurt, trying to land on the slippery side of your board. So
Yep.
Probably just
Fuck
gonna
your ankle up.
give it up on that one. Probably just call that one illegal from now on.
I may be in a minority, but I do love that trick on a snow skate.
So do I. I think it's dope.
Yeah, it's cool.
I acknowledge it's controversial.
Try it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can see how some people wouldn't like it, but personally, I do like them. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
For me, it's what I referenced earlier, the flinging a 3 shove in place of an ollie and just hoping that you land on it. Like if you're not intentionally doing and catching a 3 shove, then no, that's illegal. Don't like it.
Agreed.
Don't like it. Hardest trick for you personally, Zach?
I wrote down anything switch and fakie. Can't do it.
Switch, sure.
Can't get to the obstacle. I just can't fucking ride.
Fakie, you could.
Nope, I can't. Keep going.
Andrew?
Next person.
Forward flips. I can get them on a skateboard. I've gotten them on a snow skate before, but it's just like it's going to be one of those things where it might take like between maybe, I don't know, like 10, 15 tries, or I might not get them at all. But it's like I've gotten them in the past, and they look super cool because I'm tall and I don't really have to worry about getting sacked on them the way I kick on they come right underneath my legs, which is really sweet. But yeah, it's just the hardest thing. I tried to get one at Midwest Open last year, and over the 2 days we were out there, I didn't get a single one. But I just can get the rotation, or it throws me off balance where I can't catch it, or like I'll be ready to catch it and it won't do the full rotation. There's just so many factors that go into it. It's just been a struggle. But when I get them, they look awesome. But I just can never get them.
For sure. For me, lately, it's been kickflips. I totally lost my kickflip this year. I have no idea. I don't know what happened. I can't do a kickflip.
Don't think
switch,
like that.
I'm not even thinking like that. I'm going out and trying them. I just can't do them. Like I'm not even trying to be negative. Hopefully they'll come back. Anything switch, I agree with you, Zach. And anything spinning front side, like front big spins, front heels, front side flips is something I'd love to do on a snow skate. Even front ones, like I don't really have them. Hard flips too, kind of in the same category. Really anything other than a front shove spinning front side, I struggle with. Really, really difficult.
Agreed.
Wish I could do them though. The one trick that got away, Zach.
How come you don't go first? Go ahead.
Because I need some time to think of this one.
Oh, you didn't write these down? I got.
No,
these
I didn't write it down.
All right. My trick that's gotten away for, let's see, how many years has it been? I started trying them in 2007. 13 years probably about is the back 360.
Yep.
I haven't been able to get one I'm satisfied with. I've done them 270 style. I've done that one in my encore part with the little and I fucking hate that. It's the only trick in my part I'm bummed on. That's my trick that got away. I've been trying it for so many years, and I've never gotten one that I fully rotate and like, and I'm very envious of Dan. So,
You're too hard on
the
yourself
one that
for
I
the one
want
that
to
you
see.
did. I still think that one's really good. I know you disagree.
Yeah, but
we're not going to see eye to eye on this, but
if you watch the rough cut, there was a couple I was rotating the whole way, and I just couldn't fucking do it. I kept trying after the one I landed too. It's not like I was done right there. I kept trying, but
sure.
One day. I'm not giving up yet, but I also don't try them enough. I just that trick discourages me. So
neck spasms for days, man.
I haven't gotten that yet, but yeah, I get why you would.
Andrew?
Boy, this was a tough one because for me, it's like they all got away after my car accident. And I busted up my legs. It's like it's the ones. It's basically the quest, of getting anything. For me, the hardest has been like front boards. I remember it took me a long time to relearn those. At least that's the way I'm interpreting the question. That's probably the most continual struggle because it's a hard. I'm always been like I'm not like an Alan where I have a nice posture and can like look back when I'm doing them. I'm always like keep my shoulders down and just kind of mentally
I'm the same way.
So yep. I wish they looked better for me. So I just end up not doing them. And that puts a lot of weight on my non-dominant, my damaged leg. So it's kind of tough, but I'm okay with it.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of got caught with my pants down in this one. I should have written them down. I don't really have an answer for this question. I'm going to go off of what you said, Zach, back threes. I have been trying them for a while and I can't get them either. But yeah, other than that, I don't have a good answer for this question. I don't know.
You can do it all.
I cannot do it all. No, I definitely cannot. Best trick you've done that wasn't caught on film, Andrew.
Yeah, this is one of those sessions that was like legendary for me. But one of the first meetups I went to with Alan, CJ Tamburino was there, and we raced for kickflips down a 7 stair, and we got him on like the third try, and then I got a forward flip down that 7 too. And there was a guy there supposedly filming, and then that his camera froze up, and we never got that footage. So
classic.
That is just one of the saddest. And now that CJ's gone, like I really wish I had that footage. And like also that year was probably the most effort I had put into snow skating after my car accident. So like that, I had some footage from that year that everything I worked for was super tough that year.
For sure.
Yeah, that was
rest in peace to CJ, man. He's
a
real one.
For sure. Minnesota owned, and like a lot of people didn't know that he used to snow skate too. So like that for me was really
I didn't know that till you guys told me. So I would just love to see footage of him snow skating.
I know. I wish I had that. That's the sesh that I wish we had. And then like there was a part of that sesh too where they were shutting, like they have like a snow, like a Christmas light parade, and you pay and you drive through the park and they have all these Christmas lights up. But the place we were skating was in that. So then like a park security guy came and like was just sitting, like he had to kick us out eventually, but like he was so enthused at what we were doing, he was just sitting there watching, and like he was really chill, and we got footage talking to him and stuff. So that was a really cool sesh. I just wish cameras, right?
For sure. Zach,
why don't you ever go?
All right, I'll go. Mine was the 4x8 plywood in Kalamazoo that I rode down that hill at the beach. Like, honestly, that was probably the sickest thing that was not caught on film.
It didn't get away. You
done.
Landed it. It just wasn't on film.
Because, I think it was this is the best trick this is the best trick you've done that wasn't caught on film.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
I think you're looking at the wrong
apparently
person.
I'm
it was
my bad. I'm
Jensen
hammered.
And I at
we just did
that. Jensen and I at the very tip of it, he fell off, and I was literally riding it like with my feet like this on the like a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and still made it all the way down somehow. I have no idea how it happened. Whole Ambition team was at the bottom of the beach too, just like clapping and cheering. It was
going
so
nuts.
sick. And then nobody filmed it.
I feel like I need to paint this picture just a little bit, because I feel like we've referenced this a couple of times now. But basically what it was is we were snow skating this spot. It's where Dave did the 50 big spin in his Sava B-sides thing. And Jensen board said like this flat down there. And you have to get down a big hill to where we wanted to snow skate. And we needed a piece of wood. I think we were just going to make a kicker. right?
We did make a kicker, and Alan did his, like, it was like the second or third clip in his Sava part. He does a flat down flat rail, and that gives an idea of how steep. Down flat down. Sorry,
down flat down.
But yeah, that'll give an idea of like it was. I mean, it's a lake at the bottom. It's the beach, so it's like in a giant bowl that you had to walk down. So it was actually a pretty steep hill. Not trying to like hype this up, but it actually was pretty steep. Yeah,
it was. It is. It's like wooded too. It's a bunch of trees and shit. And I think the idea was like, why carry this plywood down if we can try to ride it down? But in my head, I was like, that's not gonna work. It's just gonna get stuck. And the whole thing went down the whole fucking hill. So no one was filming. We were just getting ready to start filming, but you fucking rode it all the way down on the hill, and just like the morale was so high. Everyone was just fucking yelling and like, holy shit. Anyway.
Oh, that shit was so fun, man. I wish somebody happened to be filming that, but what can you do? I got another story from that day, or at least that spot later in these questions, but anyway.
All right. Mine was nothing special. I'm so adamant about getting the camera out because I'm not fucking doing anything if it's not on film. If like I just don't have the energy to do something that crazy. But one time I did a front board big spin on a handrail, just like the park rail at our local park here in Marquette. It's like a stretched 5-stair handrail, and I've never done that trick on a handrail ever, except for that one time. And I like tried it and I just got lucky, and then I went to go film it after like on a phone and I couldn't do it. So I guess that was the one that came to my mind.
I'm with you though, Zach. Like I try not to start trying stuff until the camera's out, just because I don't want to like risk that situation, which fortunately I really haven't lost really any footage. I mean, one of my buddies lost some footage that we filmed one day to no fault of his own. Like the camera just got messed up when I don't even know what happened, but it wasn't his fault at the end of the day. But that's really the only footage I've ever lost, thankfully. Knock on wood. Next question. Trick you worked hardest to get. Zach.
I got two here. I'll try to keep it short because I've talked about this one before with Dave when we were talking about the VX glitching. But my opener trick on Sava, that front board, that was 2 hours away from where we were living at the time. And I think I want to say I went back for it maybe 3 times. So we were, which is, it's far away to keep doing that. And the snow conditions kept varying. I just couldn't make it to the end. It's a lot longer than it looks from the angle I filmed. Like in the beginning clip, the B-roll, like my title screen, you can tell how long of a rail it is. But when I actually front boarded, it was from the back, so it doesn't look like that long. It also looks like I almost chop off like a third of the rail. But yeah, I had a lot of trouble with that one. I remember my pop sinking down, so I was popping out of a fucking hole, and then the VX glitching. That was a really hard trick for sure, and it didn't really get landed the way I wanted to in the end, but I was like, I guess this is going to work. And then also there's that backside flip I also did in Sava down like that stage gap that you've been to, Eric. Everyone's been to it if they've been on a team trip. I probably went back for that one 5 times.
Wow.
At least 5 times. I think I don't know if that spanned across 2 seasons. I think it only was 1 season, but I got to say I went back to that at least 4 or 5 times between night sessions, day sessions. I just couldn't land it correctly. I think I'd go there and land it most times, but just like not great. Even the one I landed in my Sava part, my foot is just dragging off a little bit, and I didn't want to use it. But I think I remember Blay like convincing me or Dave to be like, "Yo, you should just use it. Like it's really good. You're just being overly picky." So those were 2 of the ones that took a long fucking time.
Sure. Andrew?
Yeah, just relearning to snow skate after my car accident, I think. Yeah, I wish I had because it's still a struggle, but like I just remember the first time my car accident was in September, and I remember by winter, I want to say by like January, I had been out of my wheelchair and I'd been walking around and like just putting, not even on a hill, but just learning my body to actively shift weight while I'm just riding on a flat surface, and then feeling how my legs and all these muscles I haven't used in like 4 months are adjusting to that. And like, boy, that is like a very specific feeling and memory for me where I can just place it, like pushing through that. And like, I remember the first time I went down a hill and like my legs were just like shaking because it's all that atrophy and stuff. Like you just can't, So yeah, that to me, and then after that is after my accident is like when I'm like, okay, I can still do this. That's when it was just like all parks every year. So I don't know. That was work. That was
for sure. That's
work.
nothing to sneeze at, man. That's gnarly.
Yeah, Andrew. Honestly, I don't. And forgive me if I didn't know this. I don't think I ever knew that you had gotten into like a pretty serious car accident.
Yeah,
Do you feel comfortable talking about that?
Sure. Yeah, that was in 2009. I broke my. I got hit by a car. My legs basically were both broken at tib, fib, right, left. Shattered my knee, fucked up my nose and my jaw, and was in a wheelchair for like 4 months. So that was tough.
Wow.
They didn't think I would be able to skateboard, but I tell Eric this every time we skate, Elliott Park. My hospital window at HCMC overlooked Elliott Park. So from my room, I'm watching people skateboard, and I'm just like, as soon as I can fucking walk, I'm gonna fucking skateboard again. My doctor was like, no, this isn't going to be like that's a long ways away, but like that was honestly my motivation for like going through it. And then like when I got back on my feet, I was skateboarding pretty soon after, and like that was tough. That's still something where like if I take impact and I feel so, like now I just have a bunch of titanium in my legs, and like when I land impact stuff is specifically hard for me because when I can feel that stuff kind of move around on impact, and like it just kind of triggers a pain in my brain that I associate with that, and then it's like kind of hard to focus. So I don't know, it's tough. But
I mean, yeah, that's traumatic. I like that your head was where it was at though in that time. I feel like you need that motive and that perseverance to be like, I mean, think about like even Phil Smudgy too. It's like they're probably telling him the same thing, and in your head, it's like, no, I'm gonna skate again. I mean, it's almost like manifestation to some extent. So I think that's a good
And I think Phil's I love that you compare me to Phil, because that's something that I like. That it's such a it's something where it's like you don't know what you got until you lose it, kind of a thing. Where like I'm even doing it now, where I'm like I'm looking at the conditions and I'm just like, oh man, this would suck to skate. But then there's like part of me was like I would like die to skate if I had that taken away, and just even in shitty conditions like this,
right?
I would still get joy. Yeah, and like it's just and that whole feeling is just like my first time. I remember I bombed like part of this hill that I probably shouldn't have because it was steep and icy, and I just remember and like I'm just gonna push through this, and I'll have to take you to that hill because it's a pretty gnarly hill, and I would just I'd like do a little bit of it, and then I'd walk up a little more, and then eventually I was doing the whole thing. I remember I just got to the bottom, and I was just like, I was like in tears. It was just so cathartic to be able to do that again. But that was like years of physical therapy, and I had to get this machine that when I sleep, because I broke my knee, and it would move my leg in my sleep from like extension to this.
Whoa. I
had to sleep like this, and my leg would just constantly be doing that. So like when I was not even in my wheelchair, I would have to be doing that. And then lots of little things like that. But yeah, I seen the inside of the HCMC building a little too for my life.
For sure. Yeah. We gotta drop for a Zoom break, but let's come back to this, guys.
Yeah.
All right, back from the beer and Zoom break. Andrew, let's get back into where we left off with the car crash talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was just talking about, what a great motivator snow skating was to really just knock out my PT. One of the things I remember too is when I was getting close to being dismissed from the hospital. I was in the hospital for I think like 2 weeks. And like they weren't gonna dismiss me until I did occupational therapy, and like I was just so and this was in fall. This was September 3rd is when the accident was. Which, if you know anything about September in Minneapolis, it's the best time to skate. It is absolutely sunny. It's not super rainy yet. And yeah, just watching that outside my window was just like torture. So yeah, snow skating, skateboarding, great motivation to get me moving. And without getting too graphic, I do have still a lot of scars, but you know, one of the quotes I was saying too is like, you know, Jean-Paul Sartre, who said, life begins on the other side of tragedy. I think that that's a really good way, because it kind of, that accident in a way took my focus away from skateboarding to other things like art and music, which has been influential. It's a character who I am. But yeah, it was always just like, I'm not going to take those days where I'm just lazy and I don't want to skate. It's just like, those just don't happen for me anymore. Like I just push and push and push. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's gnarly, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to like repurpose that towards things like music and art, though. You know, I mean, that's the best thing you could do.
Well, that's the other thing too, is because I wasn't very mobile. So like one of the things I started doing is just got into like photography, video editing, and photo editing and stuff, because I still had my laptop and I could still like kind of have the time. And that's how also when I got into music, because like when I was in the hospital, like in between surgeries or stuff, I had my laptop. So I mean, I was surfing probably like 12 hours a day. But that's like all you could do, and like, you know,
right.
I was 18, so. But yeah, definitely like if you look back on my iTunes, there's just probably the vast majority of my stuff was downloaded between, you know, those dates and in 2009, because that's like all I had to do. So
for sure. Right.
But yeah, I mean, that it's just been really a blessing in disguise. I think maybe Phil has said as much about like his accident, and also it's opened up this whole world of people who have lived through these accidents, and like you can have a normal life. And like I would gladly take my life now and maybe not having as clean kickflips as I used to have, over like, you know, wondering where I would be if I just, you know, didn't have the experience and the breadth of life that I have now. So
yeah, that's sick. And that's
I think
so
you have
cool
a great outlook.
Yeah, absolutely. And so cool how you're able to use skateboarding and snow skating to, you know, get you back to 100% and then get you that much more hyped on it afterward too. Super cool.
And I get, honestly, one of the things, like, I mean, I don't need another reason to like Phil, but like watching him, he used to do Magical updates, and it was just him like, I think I can get part of a push-up, and then incrementally, and then maybe he can get maybe 2 push-ups the next week. And then, you know, by the end of, I think, maybe like last winter, he like posted a thing of him getting his first kickflip. Like, that was so emotional for me, because like that is very similar to like how it is not only for me, but a lot of people who go through injury and have those really traumatic. I mean, Phil's was just, I mean, on a whole nother level. But yeah, I mean, props to him and putting those narratives out there of like, you can finding the motivation and doing what you love, you know.
For sure. He was the best dude, and now he's even more of the best dude.
Yeah,
this is true.
And he's taken that energy and like, yeah, he's putting that into Midwest, and like I've noticed him just how excited he gets, and like in commentating on the stuff, which I was lucky enough last year to be a judge. I was the head judge of the Midwest Open, which is a great title for me. I loved it. I just have that passion for it, and think I did a good job. So hopefully I get to do that.
Definitely.
But yeah. Oh my God.
It says
That's
Eric who placed.
You got to pitch me that first this year, Andrew.
The best judge.
Yeah, we'll see if Andy Berman comes back and does some crazy shit. But
oh yeah, we got to keep him out of Minnesota.
Or he'll come to my comp, and I'll be doing that at my house, so that'll be fun too.
As long as the prizes are 40s.
Yeah, it's called I'll plug it on the podcast here as we go and do the last couple questions, but it's called the Minnesota Independent Snowskate Competition. Prizes are best line, best trick, and the prices are 40s. That's all.
Love it.
What more do you need?
Yeah,
so sick.
Anything else?
So cool. All right, next question. Oh, I don't think I answered this one. Tricky worked hardest to get. I don't know how I can follow that up, Andrew, but Trick, I guess I have two answers for this. The first one was the kickflip that I did down the Red Bull 4 block in Saba. It's not actually affiliated with Red Bull. As soon as that thing was constructed, Red Bull hosted a skate competition down it, which CJ Tamburino killed it in that competition. I remember. So we just call it Red Bull, even though it's like a veterans like memorial something. But that one, I jumped down that thing way too many times to get that kickflip, and that was just not that fun. I don't want to go back to that thing.
Would maybe 12, maybe 10 or 12 feet up, I want to say.
It's equivalent to a 12 stair because there are
there's a stair next to it.
Yep.
Okay.
So equivalent to a 12, but it's kind of like jumping off a cliff, kind of like that 5 block in KZoo. Not fun.
The other thing that mentioned about that spot is that the landing opens up on the river. So if your snow skate goes, it's going in the river, and like that.
You cannot shoot out left.
You cannot shoot out left at all. No.
Oh, that spot sucked. And then there's this drop spot in Duluth that I did my first fakie big spin on back in like 2015 or 2016. Never got used for anything. But I think I remember 5 different sessions trying to get that trick. And it's just like a flat drop into a bank, kind of like the one that you see the Ambition dudes skate, but a little bit bigger than that one, I think. But yeah, the clip never even got used, and it was probably one of the hardest battles I've ever had for a trick is fakie big spin into that bank. Didn't do it well. Filming was super dark, so whatever. It is what it is. Kind of funny in hindsight. Favorite snow skate community event? I guess I'll answer this one first. Midwest. I mean, you can't beat Midwest. It's so much fun. Honorable mention to that first KZoo Ambition team trip, because that was just the best too. So much fun. Andrew?
Yeah, mine would be Midwest as well. I never went to it on the old property, but I gotta say it's Magical Acres is kind of built for that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And forest riding is like my favorite thing, so like obviously
that's awesome. Zach?
As an ongoing event, I'll go with Midwest as well. I mean, I've been to every one except for 2 ever since it first began in 2008 when it was in Chicago at Wilson Skate Park. So like that was a huge moment. We got to meet like Isaac Hebert, Justin Majetsky. I went up to Phil, got his autograph. I mean, come on. Monumental stuff for me growing up for sure. But what I have written down as one thing was, the trip that you had mentioned, Eric, the first KZoo Ambition trip where we all just jammed into me and Dave's apartment, and I got to meet a lot of. I mean, that's where I met you. I met like Robbie Gobil on that. I'm sure I'm missing some people that I also met on that trip. So it was just, I don't know, man. Something about that. The atmosphere of that trip was just really special, and I cherish it. It was such a fucking fun time.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Productive too.
It was, definitely. Most underrated snow skater, Andrew?
Oh boy, I mean, I immediately went to Rico just because Rico Desjardins is a premier skater. I think a lot of the premier skaters just from that era did had a lot of independent content. Someone outside of premiers, someone who was like really about it, whose parts were really good. And then not only that, but then we learned on that he still lives in Sherbrooke, and like they were, I don't remember what episode of White Sox, but so they were skating that rail, and then he just like was there like watching them. Do you remember that, Eric? Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't know if that was Rob or if that was Phil Moreau. I don't remember who that was.
I don't remember. Yeah. But like that's like a famous skate spot, and then you saw people snow skating it, and he like came out, and I'm like, that is so like legendary status. I think you don't hear a lot from him. I know Alan keeps in touch with a lot of the premier guys. Bjorn, I think too, maybe would fit on that list as someone who came up in Premier, in doing X Games comps, and then he had a part in true color, and then just kind of, you know, they shift the better and brighter things for him and stand up. And but yeah, I'd say Rico. His parts to me always just really stood out, and I like them. So
for sure. Zach?
Oh, I have a kid named Alex Vidrin. Came and went pretty quick. Not as much as a known name, even, because he was never on any teams. He was never really sponsored, from what I understand. It's not like he was on Premier in those days. He was also a Premier era skater, by the way.
Yep.
So he had a part in this video that he made called "Hit That Thing." This came out in 2007. And this dude had such a solid skateboarding background and just foundation that he was like switch heeling 8 stairs, doing switch front shove down 8 stairs, a lot of stuff that was not done, like tray flip a 10 stair. He was just with good style. Like, he was just so ahead of his time, I feel like. And yeah, he was super overlooked in my opinion. So I always think about that part and how it even still holds up to some degree this day. You know, some of the landings might be questionable for some tricks just because he's riding a Premier, but that dude, I never understood how he didn't get more recognition, and that'll forever remain as like the most underrated snow skater in my head.
Got it. Yeah, I remember watching Hit That Thing back in the day, and I think it was his part was the one that I watched the most too before the music got ripped down or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, it was a sick video.
And a lot of dudes came from that. You know, you got Jamie Sabelski, you have Jensen, obviously, who had opening part. And there's just a lot of good snow skaters in that like GTA area, like a little outside of Toronto, if I understand correctly. But Alex Vidrin in that video did some stuff that hadn't been done at the time that looked awesome.
Yeah, he was sick. My answer, Andy Berman. I think this is only going to hold up for another month or so. When the Hot Dish video comes out, you guys are going to know. But yeah, that dude slaps.
Yeah.
He is
incredible. I agree 1,000,000,000%.
Another interesting thing about him, also an amazing bidecker too. You can go watch some of his. I think he's got actually quite a few NDBs on a bideck from what I've seen.
Yeah, he flies under the radar. I don't know how long he's going to fly under the radar, but yeah, he's incredible.
And he's the shit, dude. He's a good dude to hang out with. I like him.
Yeah.
He's got good spirit about him. You know, hanging out with him, he rules.
Yep. Do you skateboard and snowboard too, Andrew?
Yeah, I do them all. I just was I started snowboarding in 4th grade. And then I started snow skating by 2001, and I was in 5th grade. So I snowboarded before I snow skated, and I snow skated before I skateboarded. So kind of goes in that order. But I tell you, like, snowboarding is a lot. I think with my legs too being the way they are, it's gotten a lot harder. It's a lot more demanding being strapped in. I find myself going for the bideck if like my family wants to go out and ski or whatever. I think I've been for the last couple of years just be like, because most I love snowboarding. Yeah, it's a lot easier on my knees and my ankles if I'm not strapped in. Something about it, just my body can't handle it anymore.
Dude, it's gnarly. Like, I went out snowboarding for the first time in 3 years this year. Yeah. My legs and feet hurt.
Oh,
like straight up hurt.
It's a lot of torquing and like
yeah. So I imagine, with your leg issues and all that titanium in there, I imagine it's even worse on top of that. But even without it, it's gnarly to get back into. And I thought it'd be fine, snow skating all the time. No, I got destroyed. I was so sore the next day. Zach, we know you skateboard. Do you snowboard at all?
No. I'll go as far as saying no. Do I like it? I love it in terms of I've done it a few times. I actually always think about like the day when I'm not so much a snow skater and I will be more of a snowboarder or will actively pursue it. Maybe when my body's kind of too rough to keep filming. I really want to actively pursue snowboarding. I watch snowboard parts. I think it's fucking sick. I've done it. I've hit some rails, 50, lip slide, board slide, front board, just things you can bring over. But actually I grew up skiing. People probably would never know that. I grew up skiing for 10 years.
I don't even think I knew that. Yeah.
Until I found snow skating, I skied for 10 years from the age of 4 to 14. I was always skiing. It ran in my family, but I think it's kind of lame now. Sorry if any of my friends ski. So yeah, someday I'll snowboard. I can snowboard to a degree, and yeah, I'm a skateboarder probably above everything. So
Yeah.
One
Snowboarding's. Go ahead,
interesting thing I want to add on is that I went to snowboarding was really big in my high school. So I went to school with like Justin Fronius, who's on DC. Tommy Gesme is also in my school. He's on Solomon now. So like there was just a bunch of us that were like Highland kids, I guess you could say, which is like the big terrain park area. So, but I always like snow skating more. That was I just wanted to drop some pennies, boys. I hope you don't mind.
No, snowboarding's sick. I'm trying to get back into it. Like I really haven't the last, 10 years or so because I've been so focused on snow skating. But I got this like pass thing this year where you get like 2 different passes at ski resorts around Minnesota and Wisconsin. So I'm trying to go out and snowboard and bideck with Alan. Don't tell anyone I'm bidecking. And I skate too. I'm so bad at skateboarding. Like I am awful at skateboarding, but it's still so much fun to do. I really enjoy it. I didn't skate a lot this summer. My ankle was kind of hurt in the middle of the summer, and obviously golf was way more important, so I didn't want to risk that. Quit skating for that, but no, I love them both. And I'm only semi-joking on the golf thing too. That was actually my primary concern.
It's only a joke until it becomes your reality, Eric.
Yeah, it was very much my reality.
Pretty soon you're going to be jumping down something on a snow skate and you're like, fuck, I wish I skateboarded more because now my body is conditioned to golfing.
Pretty much is.
You're trying to swing your board at the spot. Anyway.
No, I shouldn't even admit this, but I was playing golf in the simulator yesterday and I went and skated a kicker after. And my lower back was so tight from hitting drivers that like I was struggling. Like I felt like I had already skated by the time I started skating because I hit drivers for like 3 hours Sunday and like an hour yesterday. And then after that, I was like, dude, I am too sore right now, which is it's so dumb. But anyway, I shouldn't admit that to people, but whatever.
We'll edit that part out. You fucking nerd.
No, we won't. Biggest bunt. I'll go first on this one because I have a pretty good one. The Red Bull 4 block that I kickflipped. As soon as I kickflipped that in 2015, well, not as soon as that happened, but I moved to Chicago the next winter. And I was like talking with Alan a lot at the time and just good friends, whatever. And I was like, man, I'm going to move back to Minneapolis. It's going to be sick. I'm going to go backside flip the Red Bull 4 block. Like, no problem. I got it, Hasn't happened. Haven't even gone back to that spot and tried to skate it. But it's been a running joke since 2015 or 2016 now, to where like whenever Alan and I are talking about going snow skating, he'll like go as far out of his way as he can to like lead me to like talking about skating some different spot, and he'll just set me up to be like, nah, we're actually going to Red Bull 4 block. You're gonna backside flip today. Like, you got it, dog. Like, he'll just like do these elaborate setups just to like make a joke about me backside flipping Red Bull and going there. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. Like, I'm not gonna backside flip that thing. I would be down to go back and like skate it and do something else, but I do not want to try backside flip down that thing. I don't even have that trick. Like, I don't know why I thought I could do it.
I was just going to say, I don't want to throw shit at you, Rick, but I've never seen you do a backside flip, to be totally honest.
I've done it off like a kicker. Like I did them back in the day.
I think you could, like, yeah. I'm not doubting you, but I've just never seen you do it.
No, and it's one of those, it's a dice roll trick for me. Like, I don't know. I can do back ones, obviously, but like doing the kick flip, like it either comes with me or it just doesn't flick at all, and I just look like an idiot, which happens most of the time. Yeah,
that's how that trick works.
Yeah, so that's definitely my biggest bunt. It's at least 5 years, and it's going to be ongoing for a really long time. As soon as you described the concept of the bunt to me, Zach, I was like, oh, I got the perfect bunt. Like, this has been going on way too long.
Yeah, I love that bunt, though. It's been ongoing.
So long. Zach?
No, we got to go to Andrew. Mine's a story, honestly.
Sure.
Okay.
Mine is the concept of salt. That's the biggest bunt I know. Anytime, just in general, I have something at a spot, and then I'll think about it, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll just go get that today. And it's like, now I got to deal with this. It's just this whole thing. So
yeah, it's a session runner.
Yeah, That was basically it for me.
Putting aside exactly what Andrew said, because that the same for me. I have so many ideas for spots that I cannot skate due to salt. Would be this one, which happened about 2-3 weeks ago. And I apologize right now because it's a bit of a story, but I think it's a pretty funny one. At least I got a little reaction out of my friend Zach, so I'm going to go ahead and tell it. So 3 hours west of here, there is a handrail that me and my roommate, who also films me, shout out to Red.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, okay. Shout out to my homie Red here. We had found this rail earlier in the summer. We do a lot of exploring, looking for spots for snow skating even too. We explore all year to look for spots, snow skating and skateboarding. And we went 3 hours west to a town we'd never been to, just based off of some potential Google street viewing. And we get to this town and there's practically nothing except for this one spot. And it's basically a pretty decent flat and then an H there. And essentially it's a flat and then down rail. And we came upon this and it's literally, it can't be skateboarded because it doesn't have cement run up. It has cement landing, but no run up. And up top, it's basically just this foundation. I can even send you a photo if you want to pop in there for a second for the viewers. But we looked at this thing and we're like, wow, that is a sick fucking rail. It's like, it'd be great if we could skate it, but it's a snow skate spot. And it's like, you know, maybe one day if we ever take the time to come back here, I'll do it. But, you know, it's the only thing in this town and such a drive for one spot. But at the same time, because it's literally just an open like field, it looks like maybe a house burned down or there was a house there. Now it's gone. And these stairs lead nowhere. It's just a platform up there. So in our head, we're like, you know, maybe it would be worth going to do though, because it's pretty risk-free. So winter rolls around, aka 3 weeks ago, and I keep thinking about this rail, and I'm like, man, it's so fucking good. Like, I think it's worth the drive. Let's do it. So we drive 3 hours with nothing else in mind but this one spot. Yeah, I'm sure everyone can already see where this is going to some extent. And we drive straight to it. I'm like, let's just go right to it and kind of scope it out. Maybe I'll warm up somewhere else or try to warm up. Like, they do have a local park there with a couple flat bars, and then maybe we'll revisit it. So we get to it and we pull up to it and immediately I look at it and it's shoveled. And I'm like, that's strange. Why would they be maintaining this stair set that goes to nothing? It's just an open field once again. Very weird. And I'm also looking at it and I'm like, fuck, this rail's taller than I remember. That's kind of weird.
Because wait, you said you found this on Google Street View. Had you seen it in the summer?
I just parked my car on the side of the road. Yes, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed that. We did go to it. In the summer, we went to that town. We skateboarded. It was pretty much dog shit of a town. There wasn't much there. All the prospects we had in mind from Street View turned out to be garbage. This was in August of this past year. Okay. And but the only reason to go back there was for this rail. So again, we get there. The rail's looking taller than I remember. I'm spooked by it. I get out, park the car on the side of the road. I'm looking at it. I'm like, keep saying to Red, I'm like, dude, this thing is fucking taller than I remember. I swear. He's like, dude, it's the same rail. I'm like, I know it's the same rail. I'm looking at it. It's the same thing. I'm like, I don't remember being this tall. It's fucking gnarly. And I'm kicking snow out around it. And I look down and there's like a brand new bolt in it. And I realized that the rail used to begin after the one stair. It was dropped down the one stair, giving it like an 8 to 10 inch like lower potential, and used to be up on it. And I tell Red that. I'm like, dude, this rail got brought like up onto the curb. It's taller now. He's like, dude, I don't know. I'm like, I will show you the picture. I guarantee it's fucking, they like redid the rail. And anyways, we get in my car to go like leave. I'm still like in limbo about this whole thing. I'm like, maybe I'll fucking hit it. I'm already so afraid of it. But I'm like, let's just go warm up and maybe we'll come back to it. We'll go to this park. I start to leave, and across the street there's a church, by the way. And this priest, I want to say, it seemed like it was a Catholic church, I don't know, but the official comes out and he like throws up his hand, and I pretend like I'm just gonna wave at him. I know he saw us looking at the rail and he wants to talk to us. He throws up the hand and I wave, and then he throws up like the stop hand, and I'm like, fuck. So I roll down my window and he's like, hey, saw you guys looking at the rail, like we just fixed it. And I'm like, I fucking told you, Red, they fixed this fucking rail. It's changed, it got taller, different. And essentially I tell this guy straight up, I'm like, hey, it's kind of strange, but I literally drove 3 hours for this rail, blah, 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 blah. And then like the conversation just fizzles to like a standpoint, and he doesn't really say we can't do it, but he doesn't say we can do it. I know that's what he's implying, is like the rail was just broke. We just fixed it like a month ago. don't do it and whatever. But we just kind of, I'm like, okay, like we leave on this neutral term, and I leave. I go boardside the park, or go to the rail. Go to the park. Sorry, and I boardside the rail a few times there. I'm trying to like work my courage up, knowing this rail's way scarier than before. And I'm like, dude, we drove all this way. We at least got to ask this guy if we can skate his rail. So after about 20 minutes, we return to the area. I knock on the church door. A woman answers, and she's just like, hey, what's going on? And we have like the masks on. I have a snow skate in my hand to convince him that this won't do as much damage. It's plastic. I have spray paint if the rail gets fucked up to spray paint the rail. And she lets us in, and finally he comes out from like the back. It's just like such an official process. And I just plead my case of like, I ride for this company. This is a little bit of it's kind of my job in the winter. We're not going to damage your rail. If I break it, I'll be right back there. I will fix this rail. I give you my word. And he's just like, I'm like, I don't want to back you in a corner. I don't want to put you in a position that makes you feel uncomfortable. I understand if you say no, but we came all this way for this rail. He lets out like a big sigh, and he's like, just this one time. I'm like, oh shit. And I don't do the fucking rail. I don't do the rail at all. I get up there and I'm looking at this rail. It's taller. Not to mention, I forgot to say that they also, where the bend in the rail is from flat down, they welded a piece so it's extra rackable. It lifted it up the rail, so it wasn't going down. It was more like up apex, then down. There's like a welded on piece like this tall in the center support now, so it now like goes upwards, and it's so much more rackable. And I'm just like, dude, I can't fucking do this rail. I jump at it a few times. Red's like, you got it. But I'm like, dude, I can't fucking do it. So I don't do it. Yeah, it's just a waste of time. And this is where the really insult to, not injury, but insult to the whole case comes in. We go to leave. We were like, we'll just check out a couple unknown towns on the way back, see if there's any spots on our voyage back home through some areas we don't know about. Don't find anything. I'm like, I'm just going to pee before we get on our way. And I just bought a new car recently where it has the key fob where you don't need to plug in the keys. You have to only just have it in the vicinity to start the car. I always just keep them in my pocket, right? So I get out to just pee by the shed so we can start on our way home without stopping like at a gas station or whatever else that may be a little bit more time consuming. And I get out to pee and my keys are in my pocket. And I hear the car start beeping like you're leaving the proximity, that the range that it needs to be in. So I just take my keys and I toss them on the back windshield of my car, and I go and take a pee. And while I'm peeing, I'm like, don't forget those, dumbass. And within 20 seconds, my goldfish brain forgets them. And we leave. I drive away with the car with the keys on the back windshield. We get to a gas station to fill up later, and I shut the car off, get gas, and I go to start it, and it gives me a little emblem that says, you don't have your keys. So now my keys are missing somewhere within the last hour of driving we've done, on a highway probably in the middle of nowhere, and we are stranded at this gas station another hour away from our house, and a snowstorm is coming in, and we're fucking stuck there. Didn't get the clip, waste of a drive. I can't get home anymore, and I will save more of the details, but essentially Red's girlfriend, she was so kind, she came and brought us the keys, my spare, and we were able to start the car. And I actually went back and I drove on those fucking streets for 3 hours looking for my keys, and I finally found them. They were ran over and pretty much destroyed, but the key fob still worked. But mind you, a key fob costs like $300. I was like, fuck it, I have to go back and look for it. I do not want to buy a new key fob. So that is the biggest blunt ever, in my opinion. It's just so fucked, dude. Between the keys and the rail that I didn't do, and like the whole day was like 10 hours of driving, which should have been about maybe almost 6, turned into about 10, and it was all a waste of time. And then obviously the key story. So sorry, long story, but it fucking sucked.
That's gnarly. I remember we were trying to schedule a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I was texting you, and like you didn't text me back for like the whole day, which is like weird for you. Like, you don't usually do that. And you finally like sent me this like 5 messages at once. You're like, sorry, long day, like got locked out of car, hours away from home, couldn't get home, got stranded, just like all this shit. And I'm like, oh, sorry. Yeah. Text me tomorrow. Like whatever. Yeah. No big deal, man.
Sorry. I wasn't even, I guess those texts could have been taken like, kind of rude. I'm sorry. I was literally like texting so many people back and just trying to like figure out shit. I was calling my landlord. I was just and like everything else to get into my apartment to get the spare. It was, my bad. I was just trying to get through some shit.
No, not at all. It was very apparent. You got a hell of a day. It's
like, we can figure out a podcast.
Can't even get the
tomorrow.
fucking clip.
Oh,
you know what? And just to add to the bunt, I wasn't even going there. I wasn't even going to that rail just to board slide it. In my head, I remember the rail being so great. I was like, I got to trick out. I had more plans than just even a board slide. And then I get there and that didn't even happen. So epitome of a bunt.
I thought I had the biggest bunt. That might be a bigger bunt. Granted, it was like a concentrated to like kind of a day, but still, that's a pretty big bunt.
No.
All right, we got a Zoom
The
break. Let's
key
drop, boys.
isn't technically a bunt. It just sucks. Yeah, my bad.
All right, let's drop. All right, we're back after the biggest and the longest bunt. Best style in snow skating, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, this one, I think Josh. I think I love watching his process, and I love just some of his exemplary work. I think even from the first clip I saw of Josh, I think was his. It was a teaser to Something to Be Said, I think, and it was that clip of him doing the. It was also maybe one of the most prominent lines that I'd seen, because he first does a trick. Maybe Zach, you know the one I'm talking about, where it's the two stair sets, and he starts with like
it's from the it's in the UP. It's a 7 flat 7. He does 50, then big spin.
Yeah, yep. Starts with a 50, and then he gets some pushes in there, and then he actually does another 7. And I was like, wow, like that's really and it was filmed like skateboarding. They had a follow cam. It was and I was just like, who the fuck is Josh Oakes? Yeah.
Are we thinking of two different spots though? Because actually he doesn't push on that one. He just 50s and big spins.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm misremembering it. It's been a while since I've seen something you said, but yeah. You were definitely thinking of the same clip. Because I think the landing in between the two is actually sloped, I think, a little bit.
It is a little bit, yeah. But I mean, for that time, it's like a revolutionary line type of deal. Not a lot of that going on prior.
What was that? What year was that? Was it?
I was there. It was early 2011.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that's at that time. Yeah, a two stair set line, and then his style has only gotten that he's got good style. That's my answer, Josh Oakes.
Oh,
for sure. Zach?
A little part of me hated Josh at that time. I'm not gonna lie. Only based off his skill. Like I was there, and I'd only known
jealousy
Josh a little bit at that time. Yeah, just that. Only that. Like we were friends by that time. I'd consider. Yeah, we had hung out multiple times, even in the summer and stuff at that point. But I remember watching him snow skate and being like, dude, like these are my spots. Fuck this dude. Anyways, I agree with that. But what I picked for best style is first I have Austin Jessup, another underrated, a little bit overlooked snow skater, bled a little bit into the Ambition era, but more of maybe a premier skater. And what a fucking good looking flip tricker, and just really laid back, proper. I don't even know if I want to say proper. I loved his style. I don't know, something about it. A lot of character, a lot of distinct features about his style that I loved. So if you haven't looked him up, watch his part in True Color or watch some of his old premiere stuff if you can find it. And then secondly, I have Matthias. I am a huge fan of Matthias. I feel like his footage is a delicacy at this point because it's only here and there, but there's something about him that's just like fucking, how do I say, it's like rock and roll as fuck, like in terms of he'll just go for shit. I've sat on like sessions with him. He is the gnarly. He brings in like the gnarly side of like heshness to snow skating. Like I watched that dude like try to kickflip back 50 and 9-star rail and get close, but just get like fucking rocked. He just has a way about him that like makes me want to just go for something. So he really like hypes me up watching him.
Yeah, he's sick. I think my answer is Phil Moreau for best style. Just so fun to watch skate, just seems to flow through everything. And like you were saying earlier, like he'll show up at any spot and just kill it. Like just so fun. And even to like yell out stuff while he's doing tricks, like to do a boneless and yell boneless, like that's so cool. Like, Phil Moreau's just the best dude.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right. Worst bail snow skating. Zach?
For me, I have one that wouldn't have probably looked bad at all, but in 2010, I was trying this handrail. It's like a 7-stair rail here, actually, in Marquette that doesn't have a lot of run up. I had done it earlier that year skateboarding, and it just doesn't have enough run up for really snow skating. And it was a really snowy day. It was snowing extra hard. We weren't even going to go to Marquette on this day, like from where we lived at the time, but we did anyways. And I remember like I wanted to board slide, and all my friends were like, let's just go. Like the grip is garbage, whatever. And I was like just really defiant. Tried it, foot slipped off the nose, went right over, and I should have racked the rail, but the rail was low enough where I caught my feet on the bottom of the stairs first before racking it, and I just essentially rolled the fuck out of my ankle, but so bad that I ended up having to get surgery later on, and it pretty much ruined most of my season pretty early on. Like the first ambition trip we had went on that year, I could barely even snow skate and whatever else. So that one just always sticks out as like a season ruiner, and later on having to get surgery and shit. So
yeah,
not fun. A burden more than anything, and pretty painful, but more a burden than anything.
Yeah, for sure. Andrew?
Me, you, and Alan were skating Phelan. I want to say New Year's Day of 2018 or 19. I don't remember.
Yeah, 18. I remember that day. Yeah.
And we set up the stage. It's about a 3.5 foot concrete stage, circular. And we iced it because we were going to basically use it like a box. And we had like a little kicker onto it. And also remember, I think it was about -3 that day.
So it was really so cold that whole weekend when we were skating, which is why we were able to freeze it and skate it that way.
Right. But we basically iced the surface of an elevated stage, and then we had to jump onto it. And it's about maybe 20 foot across, I'd say. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big
20
circle.
to 30 feet, yeah.
We're in there. And, we set it up, and then I had also brought my parabolic pole jam. So it's a curved pole jam.
So fun.
Yeah, super fun. And we thought we'll put the two together. We put the pole jam up to the elevated surface. And the thing to remember about that is that it gets you some loft on that pole jam. So I remember I'd been trying it and I kicked out a while, but it got up and I came straight down on it. I slipped out and elbow and knee hit the ice so hard. I think that's still probably the hardest slam I've ever taken, because I don't know what else happened other than I just came in a little off balance where you could maybe get away with it on the snow, but I hit the ice and just slipped out, and just all that vertical energy just transferred right to the surface of the ice, and that was probably. And I just was like, after that, I was so done with that.
I remember I didn't remember that story until you said it, but yeah, I remember you getting rocked that day and just being rattled. Yeah, we all got kind of messed up that day.
Yeah. And that spot was worth it, because it was really fun to get that iced over, and we had a lot of actually good stuff on that spot. But yeah, that to me is, and then also just being super cold and the combination of that, I was just like, yeah. Cause I remember like, the normal jump was like linear, and then the pole jam just give you a little bit too much loft to and I think you and Alan maybe only got it like once or twice, and then I was like, oh, this is not worth it for me, like it's just going to take a lot of work to get, and I just gave up.
Yeah, it was sketchy. You'll see some stuff in the Hot Dish video from that spot when it comes out next month.
Fuck yeah.
But oh man, yeah, that was really scary, hitting that pole jam onto the ice. Like, whew,
yeah, we did.
Just comfortable.
If you find something like that, a little tip to anyone listening. I think Alan brought maybe like 10 buckets of water with lids. It's a really interesting thing to do, to ice a spot to make it slidable, which was super fun if you're hitting the linear, but adding the pole jam, there's just no way to come down that hard on ice and not slip out, because I think we all did it. And I just the first time I did it, I slipped out really hard. It was just ow, fuck.
Yeah, I think it was gnarly.
That's it for me. That's bail.
Yeah. I think my actual worst bail was that rail in Duluth that I did the heel flip feeble thing on, the next year I was like, oh, I can do anything I want in this rail. No problem. I was trying to shove it 50 and I just rolled the fuck out of my ankle. That was right before the first Sava trip too, when I was wearing that ankle brace the whole time. But on the Sava trip, Zach, I don't know if you remember this. I was trying
this is what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, the down flat down rail, that Allen board slid. So I wanted to just do it that day. And I was getting onto the side, just like testing it. And I would go down the down, and then I would get to the flat, and I was just trying to like feel it out. But what I did is when I was like testing the down flat, I got on it too much. And I tried to like push back to like my back foot side, my right foot, but my weight was already too far over. So I was trying to push back, but I ended up just slipping out. So what I ended up doing is I took all of my body weight on the flat part of the rail on my shin, because I fell, hit my shin, crumpled on the flat part of the rail, did a 270 front flip, and landed on my back on the stairs on the second down part of the rail. And the worst part about it is there were at least 3 cameras and none of them were recording. Like that would have been the sickest bail to have on film, and just nothing. That actually probably should have been my answer for best trick I've ever done that wasn't on film. That might have been better than the plywood at the beach. I got so rocked. Like my shin was swollen. I don't know if you remember that, Zach, but I got wrecked on that thing. I was over it.
I remember everything, but obviously I wasn't there when it happened. A lot of us had left by that time for Alan to like prep that rail, and kind of it was his his prerogative at that moment. Yeah. But obviously you were there still with him, kind of trying it. I didn't know you were going to try it, but that is like the legendary fall that I missed out on. Also, I feel like it was the bail that kind of pushed you away from rails indefinitely.
Yeah, that's maybe why I hate rails. Like I was kind of down before, and then I rolled the ankle a couple of weeks before the Sava trip, and then I got my shit rocked on that rail, and I haven't been that hyped on rails ever since.
Yeah, but in my head, I'm still like, yeah, but you're extremely capable. You just might have like a fear barrier to overcome.
I do. I'm definitely not comfortable doing it. And I also I know that I really can't do anything other than get into something backboard. So like knowing what Josh and Dave and Alan can do on a rail, I'm like, do I even want to jump on rails knowing that I can only get on backboard? You know?
Board slides are
the answer to me a lot of the times is no, but
well, that's why I was saying earlier, like I love seeing like a funky, weird rail. It doesn't have to be just a crazy down rail, handrail. It could be just something with some curves, some kinks, some drops. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to rails in general.
You're more than capable.
Jumping on handrails, just not super into. If it's not that high to get on, and if it's something interesting, I'm probably down. But like a standard handrail, not really that interested. But I just wish somebody filmed that. That was the sickest bail.
Me too. How the fuck did no one film that?
I have no idea. At least 3 cameras, but I'm not salty about it. That's for sure. Worst style in snow skating. Zach?
I've been dreading this question for a full week or whatever we were organizing to do just these questions for us.
A little over a week.
Because I know that everyone's gonna take a little route, and they're gonna go like, here's a general thing to say, like worst style. Maybe
I have a person. Speak for yourself.
I'll never pick an individual.
Mm-hmm.
You do? Great.
Yeah, I do.
Do you have a person?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, I thought I was gonna be the only person. Okay, well, I have 2 answers for this. One of them is a more general one. One of them is a specific human that I'm going to feel like shit about once I say them. So the first one I'm just going to go ahead and say is I'm not going to directly name these people, but some of these Russian guys, I really don't like their style. They kill me. And they're pretty good snow skaters, objectively speaking. And in the end of the day, I'm hyped they're doing it. I'll always watch their footage. I'm always like, oh, sick. Like, these guys are getting some shit done. But they don't get on their handrails fully, and it kills me. They don't get it fully on them. And there's just a few of them that I'm not down with. I'm not, like, super hyped on their style. They just look a little funky. And I know you guys always talk up the Russian dudes and more of it, maybe, like, their spirit of the session. And I don't want to say like I'm glad they're still doing it, and I'm always going to watch, and I'm always going to be a supporter, but it's not going to like motivate me to snow skate, and I'm never going to be fully hyped on it. And the second person I'm going to say, oh man, I like don't want to say this because I've watched this dude snow skate my whole life.
You don't have
I like him. I literally no, I want to.
Okay.
Just because I don't want to be the person who doesn't say a person. When we always have our guests on, they take the easy way out, and I don't want to be that person. But I like the snow skater for the record. I've watched him my whole life. If we ever, I think he's probably a fucking sweet dude. I've only ever heard great things about him, and I hope he doesn't punch me straight in the face if we ever meet, because I want to be friends with this guy. But I'm gonna say Alex Crowcroft. I don't know. I think he's just like a tall, lanky dude. So sometimes it can come off a little unstable. And yeah, I don't know. His style just does not do it for me. But I'd love to still be friends with him. And I'm super hyped that he's like picked up snow skating in the past couple of years and still doing it. And I'll watch all his footage every single time, you know. But
he's a good artist too.
I'm gonna say Crowcroft. Yeah. I have so much other good stuff to say about him. Fuck. I'm sorry, Crow. I'm sorry.
His true color part was amazing too. Still a great part.
That part's awesome. He has some fucking awesome tricks in there. Heel flip, tail press front shove, heel flip, tail press back shove. I really like that part. Fuck. I feel bad about it already. Everyone big sighing over here. Big sighs. Fuck. Sorry, Crow.
Andrew?
Jake Boss.
Okay.
He left the door open one time at Midwest Open and let all the heat out.
It wasn't him. It was the neighbor.
No, it was Jake. And also, I used to have a feud with Jake Boss on the Premier forums for a long time. So, like, I'm definitely trying to keep that going. And he knows about it. I talked to him about it last year at Midwest Open, and yeah, that's my answer.
Oh, I love it. Snow skate.
You know what?
I love it.
I'm going to throw some shade at Jake Boss real quick, too, and he'll probably say it himself. When he used to wear the colored pants, when I first met that dude, he was wearing, like, bright yellow, bright purple pants at, like, Midwest Open, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? He's not coming. That's, like, the only time I've been exclusive with snow skating was that moment. Was like, dude, this guy can't be in snow skating.
Yeah, stick to dirt bikes.
And I take it all back. But I love Jake Boss, and turned out he's a fucking awesome dude.
I do love Jake.
In that moment, though, I was like, who is this guy? I don't know him yet.
All right, I feel kind of bad about...
Put your mean face on, Eric. Let's get some dirt.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad about this, but this guy's out of snow skating. He's probably never going to hear it. And I got to go through the usual disclaimers. Like, I like the dude. I used to talk to him. Good snow skater. Good dude. But Darius Lemagry from the Ambition Forum days.
I'm not even going to defend that dude. Fuck that dude.
Yeah.
I thought he was cool, and he actually was like... He didn't really say that weird shit to me. I know, like, later he got into kind of some weird shit, but, like, he was definitely good at skating, but he did not have spot. I mean, he held it down for, like, what he had to skate, but a lot of the stuff that he took was, like, you should not be taking that sort of stuff. Yeah, you did that trick, but you need to go back and do that trick again.
And that's the... Why I'm bummed on that dude is that's how he carried himself, though. He's like, what do you mean I did this trick? It's like, yeah, you technically did it, but it's not good if you're doing it on some rail that makes like a noise like glass is shattering every time. And then later on, and maybe he was on some shit. Maybe I don't know the whole situation here. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he was just saying some weird shit towards like some of our friends that really bummed me out, like towards Dave and stuff. Just like really random shit, like out of nowhere. Just like hateful comments. I don't want to get into like details. Things that were even like not even true. Just like allegation shit, like weird fucking things.
Might have been on drugs. I wasn't aware of that, but
I'm super surprised you. I haven't thought about. I was so surprised at what you said because I haven't thought about him until you just brought him up. And I was like, oh.
I don't think many snow skaters have thought about that dude in the last 10 years since the Ambition forums died. He's been kind of off the radar, which is why I don't feel as bad saying it. But again, he could kind of hold it down for what he had to ride, but. Yeah, the style was not good. Not good. Okay. Worst trend in snow skating. Zach?
I got two answers. Again, sorry. My first one is I hate watching street kickers. I don't want to watch anyone build a kicker up to a street handrail. I don't like it. there's a time and place for a kicker. It's like, for example, when Allen is making like a little bump, some of these kickers to the rails he's hitting, that's like called for. And it makes sense. It's like a snowboard atmosphere. It's super sick. Not to mention, you can't ever hate on Allen. He can fucking get down without a kicker. He front boarded a fucking double kink rail without a kicker. You know, I don't need to defend him. He's fucking amazing. But I don't like watching when there's like a little kicker to like, okay, here's like a 9-stair standard handrail. Don't build a kicker to it. I hate that for me. And the other thing I really don't like right now that's been going on for a few years now is no one seems to want to make parts anymore, no more full lengths, and that really kills me. I love watching like YouTube parts or little full lengths. Like back in the day, I guess before Instagram and social media took over and instant gratification, there was a lot more of like people teaming up even through like the Premiere forums or just via the internet to be like, hey, we're going to make a full length. Do you want a part in it? And those are some of the videos I still return to. And maybe I'm just a little bit older, but I really miss like just seeing parts and full length videos with parts. So hopefully we can see more of that outside of just ambition.
Yep. And that was my answer is, throwing everything on Instagram right away, which like there's a place for it. And it's really cool to see a lot of that stuff, especially if you're just going to like skate park and throwing down like that edit Dan put out today. Amazing. Like that kickflip tail press at the Marquette Plaza, like that was so good. Like I love seeing that sort of stuff. But when you're throwing everything out and not really saving it for a part and not putting it towards something, and again, I kind of feel cautious. I don't want to be the old man yelling at kids to get off my lawn because of how great it was back in the day when people made full lengths and put them on YouTube. But I enjoyed that. It's a cool way to watch snow skating and like what I said for my favorite video, Ice Lord Cripplers, because that's what they did. They filmed for a whole year. Mm-hmm. They made a sick ass edit out of it, and it's still something that holds up to this day, and it's super fun to watch. And if you throw all your stuff on Instagram, you have nothing to make at the end of the year, So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hesitant to say it's like the worst trend because there are good things about it, and I don't know. I'm very conflicted, but I do wish that there were more full lengths in snow skating.
Yeah. I'm also conflicted because I'm also like a participant, so I shouldn't be hating on it too much. But I also am filming still too, but there is something fun about just pulling the phone out too and just like filming for fun. So it's hard to say. But it was always fun when like the late season was coming around when you were younger and you'd be like, oh, parts are coming. Like everyone's done. So that was an exciting time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Andrew?
Yeah, I have two. So one is spamming the Ambition Snow Skates tag on Instagram. That's got to stop. Sick of it. I'm sick of seeing like for-profit Instagram accounts and they just tag everything Ambition, whatever it is. And it's like some quote that's like, hustle, live a day, play a game. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I get into it with them in the comments. Like this one guy, I put like 3 thumbs down, and then he just like DM'd me and is like, "Hey, what's going on? What's your thing with my thing?" And I'm like, "It's not snow skating." Yeah, no, and like I wish I should like put a.
He was shook.
He was super shook. Then he posted under my reply 3 thumbs up, and then I was like, "Don't use hashtags." He's like, "What are you, the hashtag police?" And I'm like, "No, but just you're a for-profit Instagram account and like you're not even targeting the right people. Like you're in this channel and I tried to explain to him like no one who sees this is gonna think you're smart or clever or motivating. So just maybe don't use a snowskate hashtag or whatever. And just like anyway, but I've stopped. I've cut out on that. I'm not policing those hashtags as much as I used to. And also there's just a lot of content now. So that's really cool too. My second worst trend would be people wearing things like pajama pants to snow skating.
Dude, fuck that. Yeah, whoever does that.
It's really tacky. It's like something you would wear around the house. It just comes off as lazy. You really want to put your best foot forward in snow skating. So
100% agree.
Yeah, it's real or like things like basketball jerseys. Like who would do that? Come on. This is snow skating, guys.
Do you remember when Crow tried to sell his the basketball jersey on the Ambition forums that he filmed for in True Color for like really high price?
I remember that.
It was like a pretty high price, and he was marketing it as like a piece of snow skate history. Even as like a kid, I looked at that and I was like, that's funny.
To think that snow skating is that like high up and held to any kind of high regard that could be. You know, maybe I don't feel bad about my answer about Crow Cup.
I don't even want to hate. Like, if some kid was hyped and he could get the money, cool. But like, as somebody who's not in the market for that sort of thing, I looked at it and I just thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. That is funny. I don't care. I'm still a Crow Craft fan and I always will be.
Yeah. Andrew, I'll kind of tack on to what you said, though, for a trend that I don't like in snow skating is people that they dress like they're skateboarding on like clearly a cold day. Like if they're not wearing like mittens or gloves or a hat and they're just wearing like a t-shirt or a light sweatshirt and normal pants and standard skate shoes and they're skating like really deep snowy spots.
Yeah.
Like, it's not uncool to dress for the conditions that you're riding.
It takes me out of it. It just takes me out of it a bit. I don't know. That's just like, or like when someone's skating like Van Zera lows or something like that in like deep snow, I'm like, that just like that just doesn't seem good. Like you clearly have snow in your shoes, and like that just
I know, like some of Dave's footage, like obviously Dave can get away with it, and he's like the shit that he's filming, he's on a mission. He's not going to be skating it that long. He's there for a purpose, and he chooses that stuff because he needs it technically, right? But if you're like, I don't know, clearly like not prepared for a given spot and you're just like trying to look cool by wearing skate shit, like I don't really get it. I don't think it's that cool.
You know what was a huge trend in the premiere days was wearing just a t-shirt. Maybe you probably still have the mittens on. You literally just have a t-shirt on, everything else. That does not happen anymore. I have clips when I was younger of me doing that because I thought that was sick. Like I got warm enough to the point where I'm taking off the sweatshirt, keeping on the mittens though, and t-shirt.
In the early days of premiere, that's what they were up in the like the postseason of the park, and like you look at those videos, and they were on the part of the mountain, a sunny side in like maybe like April or something. So like they're all wearing t-shirts and snow pants anyway, and that was the look, just because that was when they were filming, because snowboard season was already over and there was nothing left to snowboard, so they would just snow skate. So
if it's like Mount Hood in like June or something, and it's like 50 or 60 degrees, that makes sense. But like filming like street stuff in just a t-shirt, like I don't know about that.
That's actually a pretty good point too. Even if you're watching Turn It Out, there's a lot of that going on, but you notice that the snow conditions are like melting, so it's like it's a pretty late season clip. So I guess it's a little bit more justifiable, but I'm glad we don't see that anymore. It's like, it kind of is like a tough guy move though. It's like, whatever, I don't need a fucking sweatshirt.
All right, worst part about snow skating, Andrew?
Snow. It's unpredictable.
Yep.
It's literally like we had decent. We haven't had a great winter so far, but we had enough snow that we could do. And then now it just like for 2 days it was raining, and now the park is wrecked, and it's going to be another couple weeks before we can get it back to where it was. And like that's just what is so frustrating. If we're lucky,
because we were supposed to get 6 to 10 inches of snow. And then we got like 1 inch of snow, and then it turned to rain, and now Minneapolis is an ice skating rink. Like we're screwed. Like
that's honestly the worst. The thing that just keeps me up is like, because like we had a good thing going, and like we were skating like once a week and going out, and like now it's just kind of, you got to wait for things to thaw because we got a deep freeze. But late in the season,
that was my answer too. It's just snow conditions. Like snow skating is so condition dependent that, I mean, you're relying on that. Like, it can be cold, and I look out the window and I see nothing but snow. Like the city's white, but can you skate it? Not really. Like unless it hasn't been walked on or touched, and you can get that fresh powder, like you're screwed unless you want to deal with ice, which nobody wants to deal with ice. Zach?
My answer is the same. I literally have the word inconsistencies wrote down, which is a very broad and general term to describe pretty much what you guys were talking about. I mean, that's it. It sucks that you can't go back to the same spot and it be the same way. It can nothing remains the same. And like you said, I almost expected every year now that the rain is going to come through on a warm day and just fuck up every plan I had. And it's infuriating. You can be at a spot and you're like, I could do this so easily if it were any other day or if it was any good day. So like we always say, you have to be like crazy to snowskate for that reason. You have to deal with a lot.
Yep. Last person you want in the session, Zach?
I have a little bit of a story for this one. So do you guys want to go? Not a long one. Not as long as the bunt one, but I have a little one.
All right, Andrew?
Mine's a bit of a story too. I was going to say Derek. I was going to say Devo.
Derek McFadden.
He was sober. Because he was like ultimate. No, because
I figured you were going there with that.
Because he was the ultimate hype. And he still is, even sober. Like, he's been coming to Midwest Open, and he's still got that.
He's the sickest dude. He's so
sickest.
Cool.
Yeah, he's the sickest. But I don't know. And he'd probably agree. And just it was fun. Because we were all drinking. Just to be clear. But it just changes the tone. Yeah, I had a beer. Yeah. But it
was hectic.
It was hectic. Because eventually that would, and he'll be the first to tell you, he'd be the first one where it gets away from him, and he might get trashed on something, and that as a friend is I'm like, hey, maybe, but he's got so much hype, it's you can't hold him down because if he's gonna just want to skate, and that's maybe my answer, a little darker, but man, it's just fucking fun, man. I'm with you there, but
yeah,
he's still one of my favorite people to skate with too.
Totally. Yep. He's always been a dude that I always loved the dude. Even throughout those times, Derek, great dude. Especially to see him doing really good now is so sick. Mm-hmm. But yeah, those were a little more hectic times for sure. Mm-hmm. My answer for this is kind of generic. I'm not going to call anyone out, but anybody who blows up the spot and literally blows up the spot, blows up a run up or a landing and doesn't fix it. And I run my spots not that clean. I'm sure I drive Alan crazy sometimes because he sets up his run ups and landings pristine every time he hits it, and every time he hits it. And I definitely don't. As long as I can kind of get there and land, I'm fine. But yeah, the dude in the session who will just blow out a landing and not fix it to where you you can't even ride up to it or ride away, that bugs me. Zach?
Yeah, first of all, shout out Debo. I love Derek McFadden.
Yeah, he's the best.
Dude. He's a fucking awesome dude to be around with, just good spirit as well. Great morale booster, which I'm all about. Hope I can snow skate with him this year. But I have two answers, and one of them is exactly what you just said. I don't want to snow skate a spot, and some of this just comes along with being new to snow skating. So I'm not I don't want to snow skate with anyone without experience. So you can teach them to be hey, once you land, kick some snow on it. It's probably going to brush it away, or depending on what trick you try, a back 180 or a big spin, it kind of will shoot the snow off the pop. So make sure you kick some back on it. And I think when you snow skate with people enough, they pick up on that kind of thing. But if they don't, I hate that. If I'm about to run up to the spot and I have to walk up to it and then kick snow on the spots that just got pushed off, I fucking hate that. It just makes the session move so inefficiently that it kills me. And my other one that is a specific name is this dude by the name of Julian Gagnon. He was in the last what's the premiere? He was in Ambitions Encore. He had some friends clips. He's a Montreal skater. I have nothing negative to say about him as he wasn't a dick or anything like that. He just was a dude that was a promising snow skater for sure. He was really fucking talented, but he jumped in on a couple of the that we had on the team trip in 2018, and he was just too much. He was, oh man, he was so extra. He was almost too hyped to be there. I appreciate his enthusiasm. But okay, for example, we'd be at the run up, and if you didn't go in time, he's yo, are you going? Are you going? I'm gonna go then. And it's all right, just go ahead then. he wouldn't like chill out. And Blay even almost like gave us like a forewarning. Like he can be like a lot, man. He's like too hyped, you know, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like I appreciate the excitement, but man, it was like we're all trying to like go in line. You know, we got a bunch of people on this trip. There's like 5 of us in line to hit the same spot. And he's like almost snaking people because he's so fucking stoked. Like, are you going? Like you're taking too long. So that was a bit much. And then maybe I'm even somewhat guilty of this, but even like the session is like ending. It's nighttime. It's like 2 a.m. We have lit up the spot, this same spot I'm kind of referring to, and everyone's done with their trick and we're all freezing and he won't stop trying it. Like you got to kind of be like, all right, everyone's kind of waiting on you after like an hour. I get like, oh, hyped for you to get your trick, but there is like a fine line. And he like would not stop. And he even said, he knew, at least he was self-aware. He literally was like, I won't stop until like someone tells me to, because I'm not stopping. And I was just like, fuck. Finally, Blay was like, we're done, dude. We're done. Shut down the lights. So fuck, that's funny to me. So yeah, I don't know. I can't handle that kind of energy. If this dude would have remained in snow skating, he probably won't ever hear this anyways. And if he does, I apologize to some extent. But yeah, man, hopefully he's mellowed out. I guess he kind of had this reputation about him anyways going in, because Blay like had kind of gave us a forewarning. Good snow skater. Just I think he went about it the wrong way is all.
Interesting. Yeah, I never even like heard of that dude or remembered his name from that video. Huh? I had no idea.
He's an encore. He does a backside flip, late back foot flip down the 3 block. Like,
yeah. Oh, it was that trick. Oh,
skater.
Wow.
That's the clip.
It's that dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
He's
sick
a talented
clip.
skater, and yeah, those clips were filmed within like I don't know, just like 2 or 3 days of us coming out. And for a minute, they were like, "This dude's good. Is he going to be on the team? Because he's not handling these sessions right." Like all of us had some qualms about it because he was up in the air, but I guess he kind of just kind of phased out.
Huh. Interesting.
Sorry,
Doug. I had no idea.
I
wasn't expecting you to. Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to call someone out on that. That's interesting, Zach.
I want to shout out Debo. I want him to know that we all love him. And like,
yeah.
I felt
we got nothing for love.
Yeah.
We nothing but love for Debo. Yeah, he's the sickest.
Yeah, and he's been actually. I should mention, to his credit, winning Midwest Open. I think he placed the last 2 years he's gone. If not, I think he got first the first year that we went after the year that almost didn't happen. And then I think last year, I want to say he finished either top 2 in intermediate or not, whatever the other expert, not pro one was. I can't remember what I should know, I was the fucking judge, but whatever. But yeah, and also last on the sesh, maybe also could be for me, Pat Smage, because
just because he kills it,
just because he showed me up. He's like, feels like, Pat hasn't been on a board in years, and then I'm like, are you kidding me? He just is like getting all of his tricks and showing me up, and he's like just so casual about it. I'm just like, God damn, those Smage brothers, they're just crazy.
Smudgy talent, man.
Smudgy boys showing me up. He hasn't been on a board in 10 years, and he won intermediate. And I was like, I think I got third, and I was like, oh, it's this thing again. All right, that was my last on the stash. I'll throw him under the bus.
I know we're running out of time on our meeting here, but I kind of want to throw this out there that I think Derek McFadden, formerly, I think he had the last Premier part ever. Do you guys remember that part he put out? That was like he was still on Premiere at the time, and he's probably one of the last Premiere riders.
The Derek McFadden 2010, 2011 edit?
I think it was around that time for sure, give or take a year. That part was sick, and he was probably the last person to ever put out a Premiere part.
I don't think it was designated
if it's out
Premiere
there,
part.
send me it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after. I'll link it in the show notes too. It's a sick part. Alan put it together. It's on Vimeo. Yeah. Like that dude is sick. Yeah, and he's riding Premiere.
He was using a Premiere. That's what I maybe I should rephrase that as he was probably the last person to put out a part fully riding a Premiere. Then.
Yeah,
and he was
actually. I can't recall if
maybe it wasn't.
Maybe that was the part that got him on Premiere. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it.
You're right. Maybe that was then. Yeah, I'm not sure, but
either way, that dude's sick.
Yeah, we'll save it for next time.
Yep. All right, we got to wrap it up, boys. Thank you very much as always. If you made it this far,
shout out to you and go Snowskate.
Yeah.